Hello, everybody. Good morning. There we go. Okay. Alright. Apologies, but I turned off my game capture the way I wanted it to be. And so I had to turn it back on. In theory, you should be hearing the game, you should be hearing me. Let me know if anything is too loud. Or anything like that. Since I cannot monitor that. Hi Jen, hi Zero Herrera, hi Chris. Yeah, it's close to spooky season. Another month, another FGO chapter. Right on time. We totally didn't have to run an almost 6-hour stream last week to get this perfectly timed. I can turn the game down a tiny bit. I can make that adjustment. Alright. There we go. The game's turned down a tiny bit. Although I probably could have just done it this way. I don't normally have it at full volume. Let's go back up but then go down. Okay. Yeah. Alright. I've rebalanced slightly. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. There we go. So, in honor of this being Salem, and you know who appears in Salem? Abby. I have pancakes this morning, so you will see me periodically snacking on torn up bits of pancake. Mostly because it's also my breakfast. I'm not typically much of a breakfast person, I gotta admit. Like, just because I'm normally up so late and, like, the hours I keep sometimes, I don't really eat till, like, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then I'll eat again, like, very late around 10 or 11. So breakfast is never really a huge thing during breakfast time, but fortuitously, I had scheduled this stream today for 10 a.m. because I was like, hey, I don't have my normal 10 a.m. Tuesday class this week. So let me schedule the stream for 10 a.m. Knowing that even though I have D&D later, I can go like longer than 3 hours, right? Like I could go till like 4 p.m. if I wanted to or something. Not that I'm going to. I'm not going that long today. I might go a little over 3 hours, but I'm definitely not going all the way to like 4 p.m. or something. And then it turned out I had to take paperwork an hour across the city this morning. I had to be there at 8:30 in the morning, so I had to be out of the house at like 7:15 and then in morning traffic to literally just to get a piece of paper copied that I couldn't send via email and then drive back. And I didn't know I had to do that when I scheduled this stream for 10 a.m. But fortuitously, I scheduled this stream for 10 a.m. So I had the time to do that today. I didn't have to wait till Thursday. And then I got back at like 9 and I was like, well, I said with pancakes, and I now have time to make a small amount of pancakes. So, pancakes. I don't make pancakes very often. I'm the first to admit that they're one of those things that I'm just not very good at making, to be honest. I don't know. I use a lot of I use pre-made pancake mixes a lot of the time, and then I just add like some vanilla or some cinnamon sugar or like a little bit of chocolate powder or chocolate chips or blueberries or something. And a lot of that is just because I have an old gas stove, like from the 60s, and it's not the best at like heating regularly all over the place. I have the same problem with baking in the oven, like in the actual oven compartment. The heat is not regular to every part of the oven because it's a really old gas stove. Which is fine. You sort of learn to work around it. Like, I know how my stove works. And then the game decides to cut out. And this time I actually plugged in my charger and everything. Okay. I heard the connection go back through. It should be popping up at some point. There we go. So, like, pancakes are not something I do super often because I do have a tendency, you can see there's, like, a slightly darker spot right there. It's not fully burnt, but it's, like, you know, not is a little darker than I would normally want, you know? Um, and then also for some reason, I just get like pancakes with very strange textures and thicknesses. And I would assume that that's my fault somehow. But my mom, like, we grew up making crepes, not pancakes, because, in Eastern Europe, we when you think pancake, you actually think closer to crepe than you do American, like, flapjack pancake. So, I don't know. I've always struggled to make, like, these, like, American fluffy style pancakes. I feel like I never really get them right, like, no matter how many recipes I follow, but they taste good, so it doesn't really matter what they look like. And we all know the first one is always shit, so you have to eat that one while you're cooking. I'm also not a syrup person, typically. Butter. I use butter when I'm cooking them, like a little bit of like salted butter, because I like the contrast of like the salt with the sweet pancake. If I'm going to put a topping on pancakes, it's typically fruit spreads. Like fruit syrups maybe in small amounts, but like, oh man, you really are having an absolute fucking day of it, capture card. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's something that I'll be able to fix today. We're kind of working with what we got, and if the capture card wants to be a bitch, it's going to be a bitch. It's not even the capture card, it's the connection. I've got this little, like, dock plug-in that Knick Knack gave me because mine wasn't working. But yeah, fruit spreads for me, or like fresh fruit, and like maybe like whipped cream if I'm feeling like particularly decadent. Yeah, because, you know, in Russia we'll do crepes with fruit spread and then like roll it up and eat it that way. Yeah. So I'm just more used to fruit as a topping when it comes to like sweet things. Like even for me, like chocolate chips or something, like I'll do like one chocolate chip pancake in a whole batch because it's too much after one. Like it's just too sweet. So yeah, you know, fruit spreads typically for me. I do have syrup, and I do like maple syrup occasionally, but I honestly think I prefer maple syrup on waffles. Like if I make waffles, that's a good conveyor for syrup. Blueberry is good. My personal favorite is strawberry, raspberry, or blackberry. I love blackberry things. And then boysenberries as well, and currants. I love like red currant, yellow currant, black currant. My mom grows yellow raspberries as well, and we do white strawberries in the garden, and she's currently trying to cultivate gooseberries and currants in California, which is not going incredibly well for her. Like it took her 3 years to get gooseberries to take root in the ground and not die during the summers, because gooseberries are very much a colder climate fruit. And obviously we don't really get cold climate where I live, even though, you know, so it's kind of like, we finally got them to take root. I think we had like 4 gooseberries this year, but okay. Something is up with the way that this is plugged in. Let me go check the plug-in at the back real quick, guys, because I shouldn't be disconnecting this often. Normally it's like once per stream, not every couple of minutes. Right, well, no connections were loose, so I guess we're just going to have to see how it goes today. There might be some issues, but we will persevere. Ooh, I do love marmalade. Oh, I was a Paddington Bear child, so like marmalade is my jam. You know what's also a really, really good topping on, oh, yeah, the one from Australia? It's not cursed. You know what the thing is? I could think of the fucking brand, but I can't think of the spread, because there's something similar in the UK, but it's like yeasted spread. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, Zerher. I actually like that. Yeah, Vegemite, that's it. I actually like Vegemite. Yeah. But yeah, no, I was a Paddington Bear child, so like I grew up with like marmalade on the brain. But what's a really good spread option that I think a lot of people don't necessarily know about or think about is, if you've ever been to an Asian store that sells Korean food, you'll find these like honey citrus like jars, right? Like they're meant to be tea, right? But because honey is a natural dissolvent, so they'll do like fruit and honey and then maybe some like herbs in it. And typically you like take a spoonful and you can mix it into like hot water or cold water and you'll make like a honey citrus tea. It also works really well as a spread in sweet things. And you can get like blueberry honey, you can get honey citrus, you can get like jujube honey. Ooh, I do love red bean paste. I'm also a huge fan of like, there's a type of Korean pancake where you like form the pancake around the filling and then fry it slightly. I do those at home. I have more luck with that than I do American pancakes, and I love those. And I'll fill them with either red bean paste or like one of those like tea mixes or like a fruit spread. Yeah. Well, there's a different version of it's not quite Vegemite, but the UK has its own version of that, and I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But I've tried both, and I actually like both. So, you know. I started with 4 pancakes half an hour ago, and I've just got 1 left and a little chunk of another. Marmite, that's it. Yeah, Marmite. But yeah, I'm a big fan of both of those. Okay. All right, Salem. Oh, we're in the cafeteria. Oh, okay. Oh, red bean paste. Oh god, I love red bean paste. I really truly do love red bean paste. It is genuinely delicious. It's like not too sweet, and I like the texture. That's like my biggest problem with like a lot of sweets, is a lot of sweets are too sweet, and I understand that like the point of something being sweet is to be sweet, but sometimes something is much too sweet, and I'm very much a savory person, like in terms of what I eat. I like salty foods, I like spicy foods, I like umami foods. I'm not very much a sweet person. I'll even take bitter over sweet most of the time. So, with a few exceptions, my coffee is always incredibly sweet. You know, and obviously I drink soda, and that's super sweet. But I drink soda for the fizz, not for the soda, because I like mineral water that fizzes just as much as I like soda. Not bad at all. In fact, I dare say it came out rather well. I swear to God, if he's making pancakes! Good morning, Sanson. Having a late breakfast? Oh, what a wonderful smell. Is that a crepe? Oh my god! Morning, Mash. No, this is a buckwheat galette. Oh, ooh. I heard we'd procured some lovely ham and found myself hooked after spending some time with the chef. So you're using ham, cheese, soft-boiled egg, and is that zucchini? It looks delicious. Thank you. I often had galettes just like this when I was growing up in Paris. They were originally a peasant dish from the Brittany region. It's even said that they were served at the palace of Louis XIV's mother, Anne of Austria. Ideally, I would have liked to pair it with hard cider, but ooh. Oh, right, exactly. You couldn't do that because we've run out, right? Apparently someone broke into the kitchen and stole most of our alcohol. I wonder who that was. Really? Was it a thief? I think so, since a number of rooms also experienced inexplicable blackouts around the same time. That's why I'm on the case right now. Holmes has been preoccupied with something in the hangar lately, so it's up to me to be the detective this time. I see. In that case, I will gladly offer my assistance. Ever since the search for the 7 Holy Grails came to an end, what has brought me the greatest joy is the drastic improvements made to Caldea's pantry. Oh man, Sasson, a man after my own heart. I do love a good galette. Oh my god. Buckwheat is also underrated for use in pancakes. Huh, red bean paste in a boba tea recipe. Interesting. Boba tea is the other thing that I take sweet because I really like brown sugar boba. So I like my boba balls covered in brown sugar. And I like that in my drink. So I'll do like a tiger, which is like the brown sugar. Not like a tiger Thai tea, but like a tiger boba milk tea. Or I'll do like a coffee with chocolate. Not quite a mocha, but like similar, or like just something like that. I'm very much on the sweet side when it comes to things I drink, I think, as opposed to things I eat. So yeah, no, it's absolutely, you know. Yeah, it's so popular here in California. I don't know if it's as popular anywhere else as it is here, but it's fucking fantastic. But I mean, speaking of sugar bombs, I mean, I was out and I just ran through like a drive-through, and here's the thing, I don't support Starbucks. I really don't, and I was actively boycotting them through college. And the only reason that I've gone to them, like, I probably go there like once every 6 months, and it's to get like one or two very specific things, and it's because they're the only drive-through like quick coffee / drink place near my house. Like, I don't have a Dutch Bros closer to me, and I don't really like Dutch Bros personally. Like, Dutch Bros is too focused on pumping different flavors of syrups into like one base drink of water or lemonade and then calling it like a fantastic new flavor. So I'm not a huge fan of Dutch Bros, and then there just isn't another drive-through thing near me where I can get drinks. So it's like once every 6 months when I need something and I'm near a Starbucks drive-thru. But I always get one of two things. I either get a mango dragon fruit lemonade, which is what this is. My friends call it my bi-yearly sugar bomb because it is incredibly sugary. Or I'll get a chai latte with 4 pumps of mocha. Because they used, back in like 2010, maybe even a little earlier, they used to have a chocolate chai on the menu, right? This was before the pumpkin spice chai became a thing, but they had the chocolate chai on the menu, and I remember when they discontinued it, I asked the barista, and at the time the barista was like, yeah, well, it's basically the same thing if you just get a regular chai latte and then have them put like a couple of pumps of mocha in it, and so that became my hot drink. So it's really only those two things, so... but yeah, so I've got my sugar bomb here, and I'll finish it, and then I have soda to back it up. I'll just cover that logo. Yeah. I used to get the strawberry lemonade, like, canned refreshers for caffeine content. Like, I used to buy them in bulk on Amazon, have them delivered, like, once a month in, like, a flat pack of, like, 20. And then, for some reason, they kept the listing up, but the cans started coming with, like, misprints and tasting differently. And then I was just like, you know what? I don't trust this anymore. Nope. That was back in, like, 2018. Yeah. It's thanks to them that servants like us can enjoy seasonal delicacies and flavors from around the world. I'm so grateful to be able to experience so many wonderful tastes, but ashamed to learn that there is a thief among us here in Chaldea. Me too. Food from around the world. Since Chaldea is still responsible for preserving humanity, managing our food stockpiles is important. Well said. After I finish this note, I've got a story to tell you about caffeine content and consumption. My head, I feel sick. Good morning, Robin. You seem a bit under the weather. Oh, morning, Mash. Don't mind me. Ugh, I can smell the alcohol from here. Robin. He's clearly hungover. He must have drunk an immense amount to be this affected despite being a servant. Yes, Zero Hurrah. I love that series. I love watching their last meals. I like watching their fast food made fancy videos. I also watch Max Miller's Tasting History and Dylan B. Hollis's content. I have both of Dylan B. Hollis's cookbooks, and Max Miller's is on my wish list. There's another dude online who did, like, I remember he made like this documentary style video about the Disneyland hand witch and then made them while he was doing like the history documentary video. It was amazing. But yeah, Last Meal is incredibly good. It's super fun. I also like their Meals from the Past. I think my favorite series that they do is Meals from the Past. Tasting History is fantastic. I really want to make that Roman fermented fish sauce. Like that's like a life like goal of mine. I would like to make that like traditionally. That sounds fantastic. Like a salty fish sauce. Oh my god, I could go for that. Fortunately, this works out well. Here, Robin, drink up this onion soup. It'll get you hydrated and replenish some of the salt you lost. Ugh. If that doesn't cure your hangover, drink a glass of water with some baking soda to reduce the acidity in your stomach. No thanks. I'm not drinking that. I've smelled rotting animals that weren't so rank. There aren't even any medicinal herbs in it. I mean, it's not like you're a witch or an alchemist or... Ugh, my head. I knew it. You're still in bad shape. What help could you be if there was an emergency right now? Won't you please consider taking Sasselon's advice and having the soup? Also, I would appreciate it if you could tell me what happened last night. And please, don't skimp on the details. Last night... Okay, if that's what you want, I couldn't care less about what Dr. Frenchie says, but I can't say no to you. Still, there's not that much to tell. I just kind of ended up getting roped into a little drinking party the authors were having. Ah, the Chaldea Authors Club. Sometimes it's nice to just cut loose and drink like there's no tomorrow. Consequences be damned, you know? Anyway, the last thing I remember is Amadeus crashing the party and drinking the rest of the booze. After that, it's all a blank. Amadeus, I swear, the man is a bottomless pit where alcohol is concerned. He always shows up unannounced at parties, drains the wine cellar as if it were his own, and doesn't even pay a single écu to boot. Robin, were you perhaps sent to raid the kitchen last night as an errand boy of sorts? Now that you mention it, I think something like that might have happened. I see. I'm glad I'm making progress. I knew I could resolve a small case like this without asking Holmes for help. At any rate, it seems clear that you were all getting plastered on Chaldea's reserves. Indeed, what a sorry sight. Yeah, not all of us were brought up with the luxury of using proper knives and forks for our dainty little breakfasts, unlike some nobles I know. I'm not a noble. Oh, is that so? Maybe you're not, but you aren't exactly one of us commoners either, are you? What's going on with Robin? Does he have some sort of problem with Sanson? Oh. Garum, that's it. That's what it's called. Yeah. An alarm? What does that tablet of yours say, Mash? Let me see. It's a Type 3 alert. An abnormality has been spotted somewhere far away. I'll head for the command room. Could we turn it down? This sound is the last thing I need with this headache. Robin, you need to take care of your hangover before you do anything else. Agreed. Once you do that, I shall take you to see the chef. Yeah, you really need to take care of the hangover. I don't get hangovers, luckily enough, but I also don't drink a whole lot since I'm a social drinker. Although when I am in the company of other people who are drinking a lot socially, I will drink with them. Got it. Take care, Mash. Don't push yourself too hard now. Looks like things have finally calmed down. Guess they've got a handle on the situation now. Ah well, it ain't any of my business. I'm A-OK steering clear of the limelight. All those hot-blooded hero types can handle demon schemes and threats to humanity just fine without me. Ugh, this soup really does hit the spot. I'm willing to try almost anything once, like food-wise. Now, twice? Maybe not. Some things I'm not willing to try twice. I'm willing to try almost anything once. I'm here. What's the situation? Did you say fluffy? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean by that, but thank you, senpai. In fact, you're looking kind of fluffy yourself too. Like here, where you've still got some bedhead. Okay, you two, it's too early in the morning for flirting, and the command room isn't the place. Rude, Da Vinci. That's better. Now then, here's all the information we've got so far. You can fix your bedhead while you listen, Seki. Rude! My hair is brushed for once. First of all, we know that the alarm originated in North America. We're detecting an incredible magical energy signature, but the threat level is fairly low, at least for now. At the moment, we're sending in a fleet of investigative drones to collect more intel and communicating with the local authorities. We're also coordinating with the North American branch of the Mages Association, since Chaldeas didn't observe this phenomena. However, there aren't many association agents in North America, so I doubt they'll be of much help. If you'll direct your attention to the screen, right here, this image was just taken by one of our stationary satellites. The United States East Coast, specifically an area north of Boston, Massachusetts. Come to think of it, it's still the middle of the night over there, isn't it? Even so. It's so dark, I don't see a hint of light anywhere. It looks more like a crater than anything. That's right, it's pitch black, complete and total darkness. We can't detect so much as a hint of artificial light within a perfectly circular 7-kilometer radius. This is no blackout or freak weather. Magecraft is the only explanation for something like this. Oh my god, it's like WandaVision! Naturally, since it's covered in such total darkness, we don't have any other visual data. As I recall, there was a port town here at this inlet. I think its name was Salem. It is a cursed name, both for the white man and for us. Geronimo. My presence was requested, and so I have come. Are you sure I can be of use, Da Vinci? My tribe knows little of the sea, after all. I'm sure, Geronimo. In fact, you're the perfect warrior for the job. The proud members of your tribe have been attuned to the land's voice since ancient times, so we could really use your wisdom right now. I see. So the situation has become so dire that you're making a formal request for my help. Very well. I will be of assistance however I can. What about the people inside the darkness? Are they all right? At the moment, we have no way of knowing. So far, the U.S. Army's reconnaissance drones haven't picked up any sign of the local populace or even any radio transmissions. Simply put, 50,000 people who just finished their perfectly ordinary day have inexplicably disappeared. I can only imagine what the White House advisors are going through right now in the run-up to the inevitable press conference. That's terrible. You mean one of the demon god pillars that escaped when Goetia was destroyed? Yes, Seki, this is almost certainly the work of a demon god pillar. That said, the extent to which it seems not to even be making an effort to conceal the insidious nature of this anomaly concerns me. In the other abnormalities we've dealt with over the past several months, like Shinjuku and Agartha, the culprits tried to keep their identities a secret. On top of that, both of those singularities occurred in the past. Hell, in Agartha's case, it was so thoroughly hidden that it was literally miles under the ground. But that is not the case here. It's taking place right now and is so obvious that even the US government knows about it. Neither of the other demon god pillars attempted anything like this, and that is truly worrying. Still, at least the singularity is on a much smaller scale. It reminds me of Fuyuki in how it's only covering a single town. Smaller scale only in comparison with what we have seen so far, you mean. But even now, I can see this tragedy unfolding before my eyes. I pray that the dawning sun will chase away the curtain of darkness that has befallen this land. So what will you do now, Da Vinci? And you, my friend. Buckle up, boys! We're going to Salem! I am afraid I disagree. The time is not yet right. But there are people in clear and present danger. 50,000 of them, no less. We do not know for sure that this is not a trap. It's possible that we may end up being glad that only tens of thousands of people lost their lives there. We are still very much in the dark ourselves. All we know for certain is what Da Vinci said. Never before have we seen such a bold approach as this. I sense that the demon god lying in wait in this darkness is more cautious and villainous than any we have yet faced. Da Vinci, have there been any updates in the investigation? Any further details coming to light? Yes, there have been a few more updates, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. When the darkness first appeared, it quickly expanded to its current radius in just a few seconds before its progress suddenly stopped. Since then, it's remained completely static, at least from the outside. Mages from the Association have sent in familiars, but we've lost contact with each and every one of them. Land, sea, low-flying air, no matter how the familiars attempted to infiltrate the darkness, not a single one of them has reported back. On top of that, the directors of Boston's Holy Church haven't been quiet about this either. This unidentified phenomenon precludes the use of spiritual evocations, sacrifices, runes, summoning circles, and anti-fortress and anti-army noble phantasms in the areas surrounding Salem. These areas include parts of Beverly, Peabody, Danvers, Marblehead, Swampscott, and Lynn. We regretfully inform that we have not discovered any evidence of magical involvement, nor can we completely rule it out in regards to this situation. All that means this phenomena has taken the church completely by surprise. So it's safe to conclude that none of the persons of interest they've been keeping an eye on have gone near Salem either. You could tell this was a real bitter pill for them to swallow, especially given how proud they are. It's a bit of a surprise for them to throw up their hands in bafflement like this. Though that's not to say they're at a loss for words. One of them went on to add, "Were I to venture my personal opinion, I might say that it seems as if the very hand of God himself has laid waste to the earth." Can you believe that? Sure doesn't sound like something a man of the cloth should go around saying, if you ask me. Well, it would appear to be a different God than the one their faith sees as the one true God. I've heard rumors about Chaldea staff being stationed around the world for some time now, but I had no idea they were also working at Mages Association branches and the Holy Church. Of course they are. They're covert agents we've planted on site to blend into their respective areas. The Chaldea Security Organization just hasn't been sitting around twiddling its thumbs waiting for these stray demon gods to reappear, you know. These agents are just a part of our overall effort, though I have to admit that it wasn't easy finding people with no familial or community ties to come work for us. Roman always excelled at hiring the right kind of people. He did leave behind a manually detailing his procedures, but it's just not the same. Roman. Still, it definitely helped. Once I knew where to look, it was just a matter of balancing the budget. I recruited mages, demonology experts, and exorcists, and stationed them in cities of interest. And Boston just so happened to be one of them. The other North American agents should all be gathering there by now. At this point, we're still just running recon. Since we're not on site ourselves, the best thing we can do right now is gather as much information as we can and figure out our next move. That's right. At times like this, there's nothing wrong with depending on others for help. You've really grown, T.H.E. Trying to handle everything yourself is the height of arrogance and can lead you to terrible mistakes, and in the end, you're left with nothing but grief. I'm relieved to see that self-sacrifice isn't your answer to everything anymore. Still, isn't there anything we can do? Of course, plenty, in fact. Now that the alert level has been raised, we're getting reports from all over the world. Somebody has to determine if they're authentic, and whether they're related to what's happening in Salem. I'd like you to handle that, Mash. Understood. Now I think it's about time we pulled in a certain great detective to help us out. His work in the hangar should probably have gotten boring to him by now, so he'll probably be in his room or just wandering around Chaldea. T.H.E, would you mind speaking with Holmes yourself? Of course, I doubt you'll have much luck when he barely even pays attention to what Watson has to say. I see. Don't worry, we'll handle that too. I'll drag him in here by force if I have to, just like Mrs. Hudson. Besides, Da Vinci, have you been cooped up in here since last night? Ah, you noticed, did you? You're right, I was actually in the middle of testing a certain summon when the alarm sounded. Just between us, the timing couldn't have been worse. Even geniuses like me can make mistakes. For a moment, I was afraid I might unwittingly cause the second huge Chaldea explosion. I can hear the music stuttering slightly, and I'm getting a little stutter on my end. It seems to be coming from my phone, which is interesting. I might need to turn on my Wi-Fi just to make sure. Yeah. I remember when the ergot theory came out and everyone was like, oh my god, they were driven mad by mold. Which, you know, it's not really what happened, and we know better now, but I remember when it came out and it was so funny. Like, all the articles about it. You say you wish to have a hand in matters of paperwork. I don't think such orderly, delicate work is suited to your talents, friend. Are you telling me that you do not think that I can be orderly and delicate, Geronimo? For the moment, why don't you wait until we're ready to act? You can catch up on your napping in the meantime. Oh my god. I agree, Senpai. Please let us handle this for now. I may no longer be able to fight on the front lines, but in return I'll do everything I can to support you from back here. That's the sort of Kohai I aspire to be. Well, in a way, yes. There's no actual way to prove that like ergot poisoning is what happened there, and there's no actual way to kind of define and prove that ergot poisoning would have caused what was happening, and then that also ignores the agency of people's actions, right? Like if they were all just poisoned by ergot, they wouldn't be having like the same thing happening to them. So it's not really possible that ergot poisoning was the only cause, right? Like it might have been a factor in like one or two people who maybe got it, but like it couldn't have been the root cause for everything happening in Salem during the Salem witch trials. Like just cause, you know, it's just not really possible. Yeah. It's sort of like the easiest answer you could give. You'd be like, oh, they all went nuts, and then one person had like a hallucination and told everyone, and everyone else had the same hallucination because of that. But that's not really what happens in cases like this. And I think that the historical record proves that there was a lot more like premeditation and input from like other people outside of the town than would be supported if the entire cause was ergot poisoning. So like it's been debunked in the sense that it cannot be like the reason behind the Salem witch trials, right? That's not to say that somebody might not have had it, but it can't be the reason behind everything. Yeah. A lot of things boil down to that. Thanks for waiting, everyone. We're nearly ready to begin this operation now. What's more, this will almost certainly end up being the final ray shift. The final ray shift. Yeah, but then we get lost belts. Why's that? Because we know that this is the very last demon god pillar, the last singularity to be observed on Earth. We may not have been able to determine where the demon god pillars that escaped from the Temple of Time had hidden themselves, but we were able to find the distortions in space-time they created wherever they went. Yeah, I was just laughing about that. Also, surprise knick-knack on a weekday in the morning! Not that we could have done that without Chaldeus, of course, and it's those readings that are telling us this will be the last. The Mages Association and the UN have jointly decided to halt all ray shift operations following the pseudo-Spiritron transfer. After this, barring authorization from the new director being appointed in December, we won't be able to ray shift anymore, no matter what. That's disappointing to hear, but it does make sense. We shouldn't be ray shifting after humanity has stabilized anyway, since it does involve time travel. Exactly, which is why the ray shift technology will be sealed away once we've dealt with this final instability. Lost belts. It's now been 72 hours since this large-scale disappearance occurred on the eastern coast of North America with Salem at its center. Let me start by telling you what we've learned directly from our own investigation and information gathering. Ugh. First off, we've decided to call the darkness that sprang up out of nowhere to cover all of Salem the Mist. Given how it absorbs all visible light and other forms of electromagnetic waves and doesn't obey any laws of physics, we are certain it's an instance of magecraft. Its scale remains unchanged since it first appeared, as I mentioned earlier, a near-perfect circle with a radius of 7 kilometers. We also now know that the mist extends upwards to an average altitude of 600 meters. It's easy to enter this area, but so far, nothing that has done so has made it back out. Every one of the unmanned vehicles, unmanned surveillance units, drones, and closed-circuit robots sent in by the U.S. Army has been swallowed up by the dark. WandaVision, WandaVision. I am not a Stephen King fan. Either that, or they simply ceased functioning the moment they got too close. They've also tried using helicopters, I'm told they're called Apaches, to lower in sensors, but all of those ended up being destroyed as well. I'm afraid not. Each and every one ended up broken and inoperable. A number of journalists snuck past the army's blockade and went into the mist themselves, but there's no sign that any of them have returned. The same is true of the trained animals that were sent in for reconnaissance, poor things. Yeah, I do watch their episodes pretty much every single time that they come out. I keep up to date, especially on their literature stuff, because I often send it to my mom because she sometimes uses it in the classroom, right? Especially when like I know she uses their Frankenstein video, and she's used a couple of their other videos before. And also, I've used a couple of their videos when I'm just like, I don't want to read this book. I would rather just hear someone else tell me what's happening in the book. Nor have we been able to confirm any birds or other wild animals either coming from or going into the mist. Curses. Then it has become a completely barren wasteland, a barbaric land of darkness that does not suffer even a single watt to pass. We next tried to fight magecraft with magecraft by bringing in our own mages. They sent in familiars protected by magical barriers, cyber daemons, automata, and more. Unfortunately, despite the local staff's best efforts, those ended up in failure too. Yeah, the mummy videos are good. I like their trope talks. I really like, currently, Red is working her way through, very slowly working her way through, Journey to the West, and I love those videos. I like the mythology videos, and then I really like Blues history videos. I pretty much watch almost every video that they put out these days. If I miss anything, it's a trope talk. Like, that's pretty much the only thing I skimp out on. And even then, I'll typically get back to them eventually on, like, a long car ride, or when I'm grinding out something in, like, a video game, and I don't have help for it, you know? Like, I just need something playing in the background. Their dragon video was fantastic, and so was their kaiju video. So that was 10 out of 10. I would have put on their most recent trope talk last night while I was building a Netherroof gold farm in Minecraft, but I actually had a friend with me. We somehow managed to make, I don't know, I think we went into making this farm, the slight tangent, we went into like making this farm with the intention of building like an AFK gold farm that we'd be able to basically just use for like, you know, redstone rails and stuff like that. And somehow we built a farm that functions almost perfectly, but requires 2 players working in tandem to actually use. So like we created community bonding accidentally, and we just sat there for like an hour doing like the 2 different parts that were necessary to run this farm properly. Which was just absolutely hilarious because it was a completely unintentional. The video we followed, like, I know how to fix it, and I will be going in to fix it this week, but like the initial video tutorial we followed did not end up being something that could easily be done by one person. Like, it very much needed a second person there, like, at least to be somewhat functional, unless you wanted to rely on like entity cram, and you can't necessarily do that all the time. So like, yeah, definitely during like things like that, I love, like, if I'm building a farm or collecting materials, or like even just grinding out in like any other video game, or just playing something where I don't need to be listening to the music. Yeah. But as of last night, we finally received word that a single attempt was successful, returning with valuable new information. Could you not have just led with that and spared us all extra nonsense? I mean, what do the U.S. Army's troubles really matter to us? How dare you? Have you no respect for their sense of duty? My schedule is completely shot thanks to having to write a manuscript on such short notice. Just look at these bags under my eyes. Now, my friend, I understand how you feel, but let us not make molehills into mountains. The important thing is that our work is now done. Our duty has passed like a ship in the night. You there, leave that alone. We need it for dealing with the mist's properties, and to prepare our future countermeasures. It's especially important that you understand this part, Seki. Okay. Yeah, their Hades for 70 video is really good. So you do understand. The only thing that made it back was a single mechanical doll. It was originally designed to be a clock before a puppet master mage disguised as a clockmaker repurposed it. It's made out of oak gears, cast iron nails, and baleen, a robot created Baleen. Sorry, baleen. That's it's made from whale. It's the shit in their fucking. I know what it is. It's made out of oak gears, cast iron nails, and baleen, a robot created without any modern technology whatsoever. This medieval robot managed to bring back sketches of what things are like inside the mist by automatically transcribing what it saw with its crystal pupils. Take a look at these. Yeah. Oh. I see. Yes, this is definitely Salem. A peaceful, run-of-the-mill village whose pious residents live their lives with integrity. However, this is not modern-day Salem. These sketches clearly show how it looked centuries ago. Right, we cross-referenced them with our records and found that they were identical to Salem in the late 17th century. 1640s, right? No, 1680s? 1680s, something like that. Basically, the world within darkness is 17th century Salem as it was in colonial times. I see. That would mean it's still British territory then. No wonder the US Army was so completely useless. Be quiet! This cowardly invasion cannot stand. What about the 50,000 people who live there now? Remember, this is not the first time this land has been invaded. As we've established, the recorded observations are of Salem in the 17th century. The only way the robot could make such observations is if the past had been faithfully recreated, or if some manner of magecraft is displacing the area itself. It's fascinating to ponder, but the effect this could have on humanity is immeasurable. This is almost certainly the work of a demon god pillar still plotting to incinerate humanity. Demon god pillar. That reminds me. Geronimo, earlier you said that the name Salem is cursed. What did you mean by that? That's all in the past now. It belongs to history. Do you mind if I tell this story, Mr. Edison? By all means. Though we may wish it weren't so, this remains a part of our nation's history. Very well then. The town of Salem and its neighboring lands were home to 3 tragedies. The first was plague. When the white man came to our shores, he brought with him an epidemic that nearly wiped out the Massachusetts tribe living in the Boston Harbor. The second was war, albeit this war was more of a massacre. The Wampanoag tribe members that managed to survive the plague put up a valiant fight. But, in the end, their chief's skull still became an ornament for the white man's village. Never mind that the white man only survived the cruel winter thanks to the resources the Wampanoag left behind. In a stroke of truly bitter irony, the state would go on to be named after the Massachusetts tribe, and these events would be celebrated as a national holiday. Finally, the third tragedy that took place in Salem was the witch trials. This time, the white man went around killing his own kind. Fearing the devil's influence, they hung many innocent people. I trust you now see why I called it a cursed land. I do. I don't want to provoke extra backstory here, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna go with that one. No, he speaks truth. 'Twas witch trials that took place there. That said, these were but a farce of court as we know it today. There they were not but a pretense for the villagers to indulge their worst impulses. These were trials in name alone, no more than an excuse for the church to exercise its power. The weak and unwanted were stoned to death. Even the densest of fools could see these trials for what they were. By the time matters had progressed to barbaric witch hunts, the wickedness and corruption had spread so far and taken such deep root that money changed hands unencumbered by virtue or concern for justice. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. They are merely characters who only ever appeared in works of fiction. I may have made use of them myself in my own stories, but I have never once encountered the genuine article. Furthermore, those who claim these fictional beings are real in order to serve their own selfish ends are simply in denial of that delusion. In mine own time as well, people sensed the truth through skin and scent. Even if they did rarely put pen to paper to express what they truly thought. That there is indeed a collective unconscious that fears witches and their curses. Now that some time has passed since then, I wonder what things are like in the modern day. The Scottish play. The Three Witches. I believe that is less relevant than one might think. I have no interest in determining where in history late 17th century Salem should fall. Nevertheless, it is abundantly clear that piety was not the only thing the Puritans brought to the New World. Those who loathe sin, who would judge sinners by their own hands, are inevitably the sort who wish to engage in sin themselves. Such people will always exist, no matter the day and age. It is a fundamental aspect of the criminal mind. So, what then is a witch? A criminal? A victim? The answer to that question has changed as people's beliefs have shifted over time. As one who understands the mysterious and the mystic and rejects the guidance of an unknowable god, I would say the witch trials were exactly what their name suggests, a lawful process used to pass judgment on so-called witches. An attempt to manage the frenzied panic of a witch hunt in a stylish, civilized manner. Of course, offering madness a seat at the dinner table after it comes barging in unannounced does nothing to change its inherent nature. Thus, the persecution of witches continued unabated in the West until it culminated in its final chapter in the New World. Ironically, in Salem, a land steeped in pious faith. It was there where the devil truly ran free, where reason and desire, scientific spirit, and occult mindsets came together. Enough. Put the violin away. What possible use could it be here? If you just want to hear yourself talk, then go to your room where you won't bother anyone. Oh, was that a bit long-winded? And here I thought I was being considerate by drawing the listener in with generous amounts of exposition. I think that's enough witch trial talk for now. On the topic of the witch trials and stuff like that, right? So, you know, we talk about the Salem witch trials, right? That's what we learn about here in the U.S. But one of the things we don't learn about is like the history of witch hunts in Europe a whole lot, right? Like the Black Forest region in Germany and all sorts of stuff, right? Like all these books about hunting witches and stuff like that. We don't really talk about the European side of this, right? In American history classes, which is very interesting considering that Salem is a culmination of like 200 years of history surrounding these events, which is pretty interesting. Very interesting. I haven't deeply studied the Salem witch trials, the historical event. I've been forced to read in multiple formats the fucking book, the play, whatever. That's fucking, and I was forced to watch the movie, and I did not enjoy it, and I fucking hated that thing. But it's what like one of those things that's like so prevalent in like American history. Is like everyone learns about the Salem witch trials, and for being as like small and contained an event as it was, it's pretty impressive that it's made such a lasting impact and has gone down in history as a negative thing that we have done, right? Like as a people. So you know. Also, there's supposed to be the next new Assassin's Creed game coming out. Codename Hex. I don't know if they've decided on a real name for it yet, but I know it was Codename Hex when it was announced. Supposed to be set in 16th century Black Forest, Germany, and it's supposed to include stuff about like the witch hunts. It's supposed to be a little bit more like horror-ish than previous games. I'm actually very interested in how they're planning on doing that. You know? Yeah. Like in Europe, the witch hunting and the writing of all these books that sort of dictated witch hunting and how they spread happened from like, what is it, like between 6 and 800 AD to like 1600 AD. Like it's that general sort of like. Yeah, well, the books were written a little bit earlier, and then it was probably like a good 100 years before. Like it was like the solidly in like the 1600s that it was happening. But like some of this lore started developing much earlier in certain places, and then being written down and passed around, and it kind of came to a culmination. And then obviously Salem witch trials was like a huge event for like the West. And it's funny how well known it is around the globe. You know, like the Salem witch trials is ironically just one of those things that like a lot of people learn about, even just kind of tangentially or as like a mention, which is fascinating because like it's arguably one of like the worst moments of our history. Like we don't want to show that to people, but we do. Yeah, it's just you have to think that like the witch hunts are culminations of like 1,000 years of built up suspicion and literature, right? Like This is like people in small villages whispering to one another, and eventually that whispering makes it to a bigger town, and then like one thing gets written down, and then that gets put into a book 100 years later because someone else here, like, it's a culmination of, it's like death by 1,000 cuts, right? Like, it's a culmination of thousands of tiny little rumors and superstitions and stories gathered together and come to like a flashpoint, like ignition. um so you know, it's actually, you know what, let me take a quick look and see if they've announced anything about Assassin's Creed Hex since. Wow, man, I can't spell. Here we go. So Assassin's Creed codename Hex. Here we go. So it's supposed to be set. Oh, yeah. So witch trials in the Holy Roman Empire. Jesus. Yeah. Because we have teasers, like we have short teasers and banner art. It uses the occult alphabet of the Magi. Let's see. And then turns out that the alphabet of the Magi that they use in the banner image can actually be translated into like 2 sections of text. One is the creed written in Old German, and the other one is Mephisto avenge this house, right? Mephisto, and I assume it's also in Old German, something like that. We don't know much more about it yet, but we do have, yeah, the official reveal trailer from 2022. We haven't heard much about it since, which is interesting. But I'm very interested in this game, like genuinely. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all we have, is that like banner logo. So, you know. Yeah, Dakota Doll, that's what the Salem witch trials were, essentially. Yeah, it's near the end of like this flashpoint, like the ignition was hit and things had started to die down, and then Salem happened, and Salem was brutal, right? Salem is one of arguably the most brutal instances of the witch trials and witch hunts, just like per capita, because you think about the amount of people like directly affected by it and the people who died, you know. Oh yeah, no, that came out years ago. Like I remember like hearing about the Ubisoft, like the way that they like work, like the way that they fucking control their workers and stuff. It's been terrible for years and years and years. It's like I feel bad because that's why I haven't bought the 2 most recent games, because I got everything else on sale up to Valhalla, but the 2 games that have come out since the Assassin's Creed games I haven't purchased, partially because they're such a shitty studio, which makes me feel really bad then that I'm not deliberately boycotting them, sort of. I'm just trying to like avoid paying like premiums for their products, and I broke my own rule recently for the new Anno game. But you know, not everyone's perfect. Yeah, the Malleus Maleficarum. Yeah. It's books like that. Like, I will never say that like a book should never be published or written, right? Because people can write and publish whatever they want. But books like that, in the hands of people who don't understand or like don't have the ability to understand, or misread them deliberately or unintentionally and then do harm based on them, is like truly a tragedy, right? Because, you know, somebody will just say, oh, I read the Malleus Maleficarum and this confirms all my suspicions, it fits all my symptoms, we're gonna kill this person. But confirmation bias? Like, are you seeing, like, where's your actual proof? Like, books like that did a lot of harm, right? Like, a lot of harm. I didn't hear about that. I just heard that they're a shitty fucking company to work for. Jesus. Nice. Let's see. Exactly. Huh. Interesting. Looking up Cotton Mather. The other thing I noticed, I saw earlier in the chat, like, comments about Puritans, and the thing is, Puritans themselves aren't terrible. Like, I can understand where they're coming from, right? Like, the schism between, you know, non-Catholic churches and the Catholic Church was pretty understandable, considering how, like, the Catholic Church had become at that point in history. Like, I understand wanting to go back to, like, actual religion and move away from, like, buying and selling and kind of this, like, commodification of religion. At, like, I can't condemn, right, like, Puritans for wanting to practice their religion in a community with a focus on, like, purity of faith and intention. But I can absolutely blame people for taking that too far and creating, like, toxic and negative cultures around that, right? Like, it's one thing if you were to, like, Holmes was right? You can practice and believe in religion in any way you want, but if you decide to actively act upon your, like, you could judge anyone you want, right? Like, someone could look at me and be like, she doesn't believe in, like, God, right? Like, the Christian God, right? Specifically, you know, she must be a devil worshiper, right? And if you keep that to yourself, that I don't care, right? But if you start to act upon those, like, opinions and beliefs in a way that negatively impacts other people, is that really what you want to be doing? Like, is your faith policing other people's faith? I don't think that's faithful to you wanting to just be, you know, pure in your religion, right? Like, if you are deciding to go out of your way to be vitriolic and nasty to someone else who is living their life, right, then you are going against your own, like, purity of faith and religion, because you are then becoming the negative force acting, you know? So it's you know, you can judge other people all you want, but you shouldn't act upon it. Yeah, and most Amish people are, you know, they keep to their own communities. They do their own stuff. Amish people, and it's not as if Amish people are not actively, like, it's not as if there's not a ton of, like, really good people in the Amish community. It's not as if they don't provide amazing services, you know? Like, I know in places where there are, like, nearby Amish communities, they have amazing ability to work with, like, wood and their hands, and they can produce, like, really amazing pieces of, like, you know, like, really amazing things, right? So, like, I'm not gonna judge them for their religious beliefs. That's not my place, right? And it's not anyone's place to judge someone else for their religious beliefs, to be quite honest. In doing so, you have created conflict. You are becoming the person policing. Oh, yeah, the D&D is for devil worshippers. I remember that. Huh. Well, King James has other issues. King James has a lot of issues. Yeah. For my part, over the last few days, I've been investigating whether there might have been any changes in past events. I've been checking the repaired foundations over and over for signs of instability. I haven't overlooked anything, and yet something is still going on. There's something about the singularity that's unlike any we've seen so far. What could it be? Some small distortion that threatens the very rules of our world. The data is indeed inaccurate, and this case is undeniably clear for all to see, which would mean that the culprit is closer to a god than a human, a demon god, to be precise. It is certainly no surprise that a demon god pillar would act veiled in secrecy, but even mysterious acts like this are bound by incontrovertible rules. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see? People can believe in whatever they want and they don't have to make it other people's problems. It's so simple. It's actually so simple to just believe in what you want to believe and live your life. It's like, I don't understand how so many people have such issues with this concept. I know that this is a problem all over the world, but it is possible to just live your life and believe in what you believe in and not be a fucking dick. It's so simple. It's so simple. The fact that some people cannot grasp this, some people cannot step off of other people's business is wild to me. Like, not your place. Yeah. Yeah, no, like, actually, like, I'm not an atheist, right? I don't believe in the Christian God, per se. I don't think I've ever really shared a whole lot of my beliefs on the channel. Because to me, this is not, like, a place where I need to share my beliefs, right? Like, you guys shouldn't care what I believe in. I've made it pretty clear across the Seki Reacts videos that I'm not particularly knowledgeable about Abrahamic religions. That's something that, like, I've been learning as I go, as we do the videos that have to do with them. But, like, I'm not an atheist. I'm not an agnostic. I just don't publicize my beliefs because it's not anyone's business, and I'm not going to judge other people for their beliefs unless they're being a fucking dickhead. Unless your beliefs are, like, genocide. Then I'm going to fucking judge you. But I mean, that's not, you know, it's just so fucking stupid. However, these rules cannot be tested from the outside. To do so, one must venture inwards, to get, as they say, up close and personal. Holmes is right. If we can't get information that makes sense from the outside, then we have to investigate from the inside. Master Seki, as Chaldea's acting director, I am formally requesting that you be the one to enter the mist. I want you to investigate whatever is inside, rescue as many people as you can, find the demon god pillar, and destroy it. Man, you don't want much, do you? You're up, Mash. Right, the mist's bounded field. We've conducted a number of tests in our analysis of the one automata that successfully returned, and learned that the mist eliminated anything made with post-17th century technology. That's why the cutting-edge drones that were sent in ceased to function. Well, as the acting commander said earlier, there do appear to be humans inside. What's more, we believe they are leading normal lives despite their confinement. Normal lives? Then the people who live there are all right? But wait a moment, wouldn't they be panicked out of their minds? I know I would. I'm afraid Unfortunately, we just don't know whether those people are safe. We haven't gathered enough information yet. As you saw from the sketches, the area inside the mist has changed completely. It appears to be recreating Salem and the way its people lived their lives in the late 17th century. Whatever the reason for that may be, that's where we need to begin. Yeah, that's fair. My dad was an atheist. I think my mom is too, but our family back in Russia, about half of them are like very deeply Orthodox, and the other half are kind of Orthodox in name, but not in practice. This was information we got from the Near Future Observation Lens, Shiba. Incredibly detailed information, too. Especially given that it was observing something in present-day space-time. Usually, Shiba isn't much help at all, so the whole staff was puzzled by why we were able to use it here. I'm sure there's a good explanation for it, but since we don't have the time to figure it out right now, I'm just going to chalk it up to an unexpected stroke of good luck. Outer gods. Indeed, truly this is an act of providence. God has clearly seen fit to bless us in this dire time. Now we should hurry and find a way through that field, whatever it takes. I agree, which is why Holmes and I put our heads together and came up with a possible strategy. Oh no. A ray shift that results in the same era. This way, we can send you straight to the heart of Salem without moving you across time. However, there are two major conditions involved with this plan that I need you to understand, Seki. As I explained earlier, we get one round-trip ray shift period. What's more, the number of people we can shift is severely limited. The Association has already forced us to shut down the reactor in Chaldea's basement. So we only have enough remaining magical energy for one last large-scale round trip. But there are exceptions to every rule, eh? Just goes to show you can't cross a bridge until you come to it. We're not operating independently anymore. We can't afford to be optimistic or even pessimistic. As for the second condition, you'll need to dress for the occasion so that you don't stand out in late 17th century Salem. Think of it as officially sanctioned cosplay. That's how we're going to phrase it. It may sound silly, but we believe it will be essential to letting you move around in Salem unimpeded. Sounds great to me. I'll go first then. You can't. Why not? Bill, tell them. Indeed, once we learned all this, Lady Da Vinci asked us to come up with a scenario for infiltrating the area. I nearly fainted when I first thought she was asking me to sneak in, so you can imagine my relief to know this is not the case. You do know you don't have to share every thought that comes into that swollen head of yours, don't you? After all, we servants are but a band of fools and eccentrics. As such, we are well suited to being actors. Thus, in this scenario, you will visit Salem as a part of a traveling group of performers. A troupe, if you will. What a joke. The great William Shakespeare reduced to writing a script for a glorified circus act. I knew even before you put quill to paper that taking into account the inexperienced actors and the uptight audience, there was no way the script would be suitable. Now, Anderson, there's nothing more delightful in a story than a surprising and well-conceived twist. In this case, we hardly need world-class talent. Of course, they will need to be able to perform in some fashion, or the whole ploy will be for naught. But a troupe is, by definition, a place where those who are otherwise unable to learn a living drift together, which makes it perfect for camouflage. Is there a problem with that? I think it's a pretty clever idea myself. As for which servants will actually be joining this troupe, I decided to choose them myself, taking Bill's opinion into account, of course. Let's see. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no. Yeah. So, like I said, it's those people who decide that their beliefs give them the ability to act upon the notion of policing other people's beliefs. Yeah. And that can happen to anyone in any religion with any beliefs. Oh, I was actually unaware of that. I have not been baptized. My family in Russia wanted me to be the more religious half of them, and they tried to have me baptized when I was like 14 or 15, but I needed to consent at that point, and I just wasn't willing to. I just didn't see a point in it. So I was like, it's performative, you know? Like, in this case, it would just be performative appeasement of, like, family that I'm not necessarily that close to, because it was kind of more distant from me. So I didn't really care to be baptized in any way. Let me tell you, it was a terrible headache coming up with a scenario that fit these rank amateurs. Still, that's not to say it wasn't fulfilling. Go ahead and knock yourself out with this manuscript. Just make sure you pay in full and upfront. So then, neither Shakespeare nor Anderson will be joining this mission. What about you, Geronimo? I'm sure Senpai would be greatly relieved to have you along. I'm sorry, Mash, but I can't do that. I wasn't cast in this operation either. No doubt they thought my inclusion would lead to unforeseen difficulties, even as a member of a troupe. I would like nothing more than to help, but not if it means putting my friend in danger. Oh, I see. Well, you have a lion on your head, so... On the flip side of that, what's gotten into you, Medea? You loathed this idea from the moment you heard it. You said you'd refuse even if we used a command spell. Does the fact that you've been standing around without making a peep mean you still haven't made a decision? Well, I guess I'm still thinking about it. You want to send Medea to Salem? Are you serious? Yeah, I'm very curious who Da Vinci thinks is gonna fit in to a traveling troupe in 17th century America going to Salem, which was a Puritan village. Even if she's just going to pretend to be a troupe member, that's far too dangerous. After all, Medea really is a... Exactly, regardless of Medea's extenuating circumstances. Sending a real witch to a place famous for witch hunts is the height of folly. Ugh, boring, dull, dim-witted. I should have expected no better response from a lion. Quite, there is not a hint of humor or adventure to be found in it. Indeed, couldn't have said it better myself. Go ahead and laugh if you want. I'm used to being ridiculed by selfish so-called geniuses. But this is neither the time nor the place to be discussing humor or fashion or patents. There are American citizens who have been swallowed up by this darkness. Their very lives are at stake. If you want to be funny, then save it for the movies. I understand you're very patriotic, Edison, but I'm afraid things just aren't that simple. This may be the modern day, but we're dealing with a world from the past in a town of witch hunts where external support just isn't an option. Common sense alone won't get us through this. We need a specialist's expertise. That's why we're counting on Medea to serve in an advisory role. If a demon god is behind this, then it's going to be an extremely difficult mission. And there's no one better suited to find the line between superstition and magecraft than her. Of course, we really didn't expect this request to upset her like it has. But if she changed her mind after sleeping on it, then all's well that ends well. But settle down, there's no problem here. No, wait, let me try that again. There's no need to make a fuss over things that haven't come to pass, Mash. I swear by Hecate that I won't let any harm befall Master. What's this? Are you feeling a bit off today or something? I was just in a bad mood last night. Anyway, it's up to Master to make the final call. Am I wrong, little writer? I'm getting chills. There's something seriously wrong with her. What about you, Mash? Are you coming? No, I don't think so. I can't. I was never part of the cast to begin with, so... Yeah, buddy. Anyway, now that you're all caught up, I'm going to go ahead and begin the race shift preparations. In the meantime, Seki, I want you to brief everyone we chose to accompany you. Remember, we don't have a lot of time before you need to leave. I especially want you to keep in mind that this is our one and only chance to race shift. Alright, who are we bringing? Why did I not get a list? Am I getting a list at some point? Come on. Oh. Hello, Senpai. Did you already finish your briefing? Me? Don't worry, I'm fine. I've been working pretty hard these last few days, but I'm feeling better now that I've had a bit of a break. Compared to what you and everyone else who's about to head to Salem must be going through. I'm sorry, you're right. Looking back now, I have been a bit discouraged. It goes without saying at this point, but I'm not a combatant anymore. I'm Da Vinci's assistant and a summoning circle engineer. Having an ordinary Chaldea staff member like myself go to somewhere like Salem would only put me and everyone else in danger. I just wish there was some way I could be useful. Useful. That's it. Mash. I'm sorry, Senpai. I just remembered something urgent I have to do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to prepare right away. See you later. Okay. Let's see. That's true. You know who would also be a funny person to take in? Morgan. This is a really long intro. Granted, I keep taking breaks, but still. Okay, it looks like everyone's all set. We'll be sending a party of 6 into Salem, including Seki. Once again, do not let your guard down after making your way past the bounded field. Make sure not to say or do anything that would give away the fact that you aren't originally from the 17th century. Alright. Initiating race shift sequence... What? Wait! Jesus fucking Christ. Please take me with you to Salem. Well now, that's a pretty last-minute request, but I'm afraid we've already filled all the roles we need. There aren't any other... Yes, there is. I've heard that troops like these have a prompter who works behind the scenes to feed the performers their lines. In that case, I believe Senpai will need a dependable Kohai to be her secretary. Don't worry about the scripts, I've already learned them all by heart. Jesus. I dare say you won't find a better prompter than me on such short notice anyway, so once again, I request to accompany the rest of the troop. Of course, I'm certain I can be useful as an on-site Chaldea staff member as well. You memorized our entire script? Well, I'm impressed. I certainly can't argue with that. What do you think, Mr. Showbiz? Does your script need a bit of support? My script is nothing less than perfection itself. However, even a perfect script means little without actors to bring it to life. A prompter to feed the performers on stage their lines, you say? Such a role could well be crucial to ensuring the success of a performance put on by an amateur cast. Above all, I cannot help but commend her for memorizing the entire script. As such, I am more than happy to support MASH's request. Besides, if the troupe cannot perform convincingly, they are certain to come under suspicion. To be honest, I think this would be a great help. What do you think, Geronimo? I'm afraid I can't concur. Having a young girl accompany a troupe of performers is bound to invite misunderstandings. It would be dangerous even without the threat of combat, but I will say that MASH seems to have taken all of that into consideration. In which case, I believe this is Master's decision to make. Little, if anything, I believe MASH would be more convincing as your older sister. I'll warn you now, Seki, such a pretense would only invite further suspicion. Me, playing Senpai's older sister. I can see you're set on this, and the other party members don't appear to have any objections. If Seki's okay with it, then I have no real basis to refuse MASH's request. But, let me give you this warning. Integrity won't keep you safe in a world of abnormalities. Sometimes you'll need to be a straight-up sophist, or to look the other way. Hi, Peachy. Do you want to say hello? Do you want to come say hello? Alright, come here. Oh, my God. Jesus. Okay. Understood. I'll keep that in mind. Oh, baby. You're too chunky. You're too chunky. Understood. I'll keep that in mind. I'm counting on you, Seki. Good luck. Oh. No. Butt down. Butt down. Butt down, you little monster. You can't sit on me that way. And you can't be up here on the desk like that. Okay, go. 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 Ow. Ow. Buddy, down. Whoa. She almost took my drink with her. Buddy. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Master Seki will arrive at the Salem Singularity at the current time. Make sure you make full use of all your experience to date and see to it that you come back safely from this especially exceptional mission. Okay. Excellent. This should get all up in my... Everything looks good with the ray shift. Okay, let's get back to our monitoring duties. All servants remain on standby until further notice. Do you think it was a good idea to let her go along? I knew that Mash would want to go. You were the one who was most against it, Da Vinci. I've nearly been accused of being a witch myself. Oh, not in the broom-flying, wand-wielding, people-cursing sense, so much as being thought of as a heretic. Somebody claimed that the autopsies I did for research were evil rituals. I'm sorry to say that back then I didn't handle it very bravely. Instead of standing up for what I believed in, I found myself at a loss for words. I turned my back on the truth and had to lie about who I really was. Over time, that kind of pressure starts to eat away at you. It's like poison more than anything else. I just thought that Mash was a little young to go through that kind of torture. Don't be silly. Those two have all seen nearly every side of humanity by now. The ugliness of the witch trials should put a nice bow on the whole thing. Besides, the very notion of sending a troupe of performers into a Puritan village was utter lunacy from its genesis. What? Indeed. Fighting fire with fire, as they say. There were certainly people who thought Da Vinci was, you know. Yeah, it's because of stuff like that, right? So autopsies were considered something that was like incredibly taboo to do. Like certain types of studies were just not accepted back then. Um, even like up into, I think it was like very close to like Reformation, Renaissance. I mean, autopsies were basically not really allowed properly, like actively, until like the 1700s, and even then it was like highly restricted, um like etc. Yeah, yeah, no, like in the past, a lot of people, have that I mean, look at Castlevania. It's obviously it's a fantasy example, but like people are scared of that which they don't understand. That is a general human thing, right? Some people are more or less scared, and it depends on what the thing is. But humanity has a tendency to be wary of people who know so much about things that we don't understand, right? People who are so far ahead. And sometimes those people, like sometimes geniuses like Da Vinci, or those people don't understand, or they don't see the line that they've crossed that makes them heretical to other people, right? Like to Da Vinci, it was simply, it might have simply just been a matter of you want to study the human body, you need to autopsy human bodies, right? And that's a very simple kind of like, I want to study the human body, ergo I need to study the human body, right? Whereas a normal person would not think like that, or they might not make that connection, or they might have a different like morality regarding that, and then that thing becomes heretical. So it's just one of those things where like different people understand things in different ways, and before widespread acceptance of like scientific research like that, it was incredibly taboo. So people doing autopsies was very taboo, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Shady people supplying colleges with corpses. This is a thing. And a lot of historical old institutions, right? Anything that's been around for more than 100 years probably has a dark past that they don't want to publish on in great detail, of how they attain some of the bodies and some of the pieces of scientific material that they used. This is a huge thing with NAGPRA laws in the US, right? And there's no way it was confined only to the US. It's just we have NAGPRA to deal with it here in the US, and I think Canada has something similar. But like, for example, a lot of really old like historical institutions would take or steal bodies of Native Americans to study them. And they didn't do this with permission most of the time. They didn't do this with respect. And a lot of the time they refused to return them, or give the pieces the respect they were due, right? So it's it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. Huh? Where are Seki and the others? Did they already leave? Huh? What are you still doing here? What's going on? Was there a problem with the race shift? Oh, we seem to have gotten our twist rather early in the story. How delightful. How is this delightful? This is terrible. Is there no way we can contact them? I've been knocked out this whole time. That wasn't me who went along. That was someone pretending to be me, using magic as a disguise. So we're dealing with someone capable of outwitting a witch. This is bad. If you're here, then who's the Medea who went to Salem? Okay, here we go. Pseudo-singularity 4. Humanity Foundation. 1692. The Forbidden Advent Garden. Salem. Heretical Salem. Yeah. Yeah. In some places it's oh wow, impressive that they're doing the whole darkness all over. In some places it's much better documented than others, and in some places people didn't want to keep a lot of documents. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A different witch. A new witch. Okay. Despite us not making a massive amount of progress, I have been talking a lot, so I'm gonna pop my first soda so I can have something to drink, because I've hit the point in my mango dragon fruit lemonade where it's like mostly melted ice and sadness. Wipe off my desk. Oh my god, Peachy like yanked at my hair. It hurt. But she's not very good at knowing where she's stepping, so... Yeah. Yeah. History is very interesting when it comes to things like that. You find knowledge in places you never expected there to be knowledge. Oh, wow! That is a really large... that is a really large section just right off the bat. Okay. That's massive. Alright, assassin up. I could comma, but I kind of want to not comma. Yeah, I've seen the graph of like relative story length as you go along. Knick-Knack showed it to me and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, valid. Does this mean we've made it inside? It looks like we're in a forest outside of Salem sometime before daybreak. I mean, that is what we were trying for, but it's so dark even for night. All servants during this chapter during the weakened battles get massive level reduction. I don't know what that means. I guess I'll find out when we... Jesus fucking Christ. I think I have like a mosquito bite on my ankle. And I have that like thing on my other ankle, and it's so annoying because like I've got like an open wound, and I'm at the point where the thing I want most in this world is to just scratch. But I have pointed Halloween nails right now, and that would be an incredibly bad idea. Is everyone all right? I'm still getting my bearings here. Sure doesn't feel too hospitable, though. I'll tell you that much. I figured it'd be pitch black inside the mist, but it's actually a lot brighter than I thought. I'm impressed, Robin. I should have known you'd have great night vision. I can barely see a thing. Do you think you could take guard duty? Sure, you got it. I'll check our watches against the stars later to make sure we're all synced up too. So Robin, we know, is with us, and fake Medea. So we took Seki, 6 people, and Mash. So we know 2 of the 6. That means there's what, 4 more people? Wow, that didn't take long. I've already got eyes on someone suspicious. Looks like a guy, but that's a witch if I ever saw one. Just look at his beady evil eyes. Okay, Sat's on, so that's 3. Are you talking about me? That's rich. If I were you, I'd hope no one mistakes me for a bandit and shoots me. Stop that, you two. Okay, Matahari makes 4. I'm still upset and disappointed. I think she deserved better for her costume. I would like to see that remedied. Yeah, I don't know why they thought Robin Hood would be... Yeah. You should at least try to act like performers. What if someone overheard you? Good point. Wait, what the... Hey! Neja! I think this is the first time that Neja's been in a story for me. damn, you scared me. Oh, I know you. You're Crown Prince Nasia, one of the newbies. You've been standing there so still that I mistook you for a wax doll. Dolls lack capacity for thought. Your show, no sign of thought. Does that mean you are a doll? Ouch, that's harsh. Guess I deserve that. Sorry, just forget I said anything. Is everyone here, Mash? Just a moment, Senpai. Slowly but surely, my eyes are starting to adjust to the dark. So we've got fake Medea, Robin, Matahari, Sanson, Nasia. So we're still missing one, right? I thought it was me plus 6. Or is it me... Is it 6 including me? It might have been 6 including me. I could be misremembering from the last section. Yeah. Over there, is that... Medea? It is you, right? Can you come closer, please? We need to stick together right now. I know. Ray shifting. Whoever thought it was a good idea to combine magecraft and science? I don't think I'll ever get used to this feeling. Anyway, that's all 7 of us, okay, so it is 7 including Senpai. Alright. Everyone, please make sure you have all your things, then we'll be on our way. Oh, but specifically a performing troupe. I can see how Matahari and Robin Hood would fit in here, right? And then Sanson makes some level of sense. Nasia, I don't know. Medea, it's because she's a witch. Okay. You know. But like Robin Hood, Matahari, I can understand in the context of a performing troupe. Da Vinci could have planned something a little bit more convenient. Besides, if we had a covered wagon to ride in, it'd go a long way towards helping the locals buy what we're selling. You really do love complaining, don't you? That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, that like a Chinese acrobat who can like do tricks with their limbs would be something that people would put on like a poster in like 16th or 17th century for like a traveling troupe. It's not inaccurate. It's not appropriate, but it's not inaccurate. We were only able to bring a bare minimum of equipment we need. We'll just have to make do with what we've got. That's how it is with race shifts. If we need anything else, then we can procure it on site. Yeah, I know. We're traveling performers, so we don't have a whole lot to our names. Guess I should be honored that the bard himself came up with our little bit of theater. Is it because they're not a historical character, Knick-Knack, or is it just because they're a fake character? Oh, there's a lot of Discord messages. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell, Yate? What the hell, Berry? Oh. Why the hell did I get... Oh my god. Ay vey. Alright, I just intended to check. I had like 15 messages showing on my Discord, guys. my D&D group for tonight is in a heated debate because so today is voting in California. It's voting day, so we have to drop off ballots and stuff. And they got into a heated debate over whether or not members of the D&D group can or can't leave early to drop off their ballots. The problem is that if you're working a 40-hour work week or less, the exception that allows you time to drop off ballots, it's really meant for people working over a 40-hour work week. And basically anything under that, they presume that you have sufficient time before or after work during like the few weeks that you're able to drop off the ballot. So having a fierce debate over that, but I think what that means is D&D is getting pushed back an hour, maybe two. So we have a very short session tonight. Oh... Yeah. Saslon makes sense. I'm not surprised by him. Come to think of it, we ought to decide on a name for our merry band. Any ideas, Master? I was wondering about that too. We should figure that out before we run into anyone. That's a terrible name. The Seki Company, huh? That's great. No, that's fucking terrible. Do I get to know who they were, Knick-Knack? I should get to know who they were. Oh yeah, Locusta in this would go hard with the ergot theory. What's so funny? It's not all that bad. You really don't have any manners, do you? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a little too witty for you? I didn't know you great scholars were so hard-headed. I gotta say though, don't you think that it's not all that bad is kind of condescending as praise goes? I didn't mean it like that, but now that you mention it... Oh, you just... Okay. Alright. Thank you, Ringmaster. You're very kind. Senpai, I can't help but notice that Robin and Sasson are always at each other's throats. Whatever. I know we prepared for it, but it's not like we're for sure gonna put on a play. I'd just as soon not cross that bridge if I don't have to. The irony of calling Robin Hood Mr. Irreverence when, as you know, as we discussed in the Robin Hood video that I did all that editing work on, Robin, like, one of the most traditional parts of Robin is his absolute piety and belief in the Virgin Mary. It's just that he has irreverence for fallible systems, right? Like, he has absolute belief in the Virgin Mary and God and piousness, right? Which actually makes him a great fit for something like Puritan Salem. But then, you know, he has, like, no level of reverence for corruptible systems, basically, you know? And people who judge others and enact negatives, right? It's an incredibly, like, well-chosen and yet ironic servant to include, regardless of whether or not Fate knew all the nuance of, like, you know, Robin from the earliest ballads being, you know, a very much a pious purist to the Virgin Mary, and then Robin who steals from the rich to give to the poor and is basically a kind of counter-governmental force, you know, from, like, later stories. But yeah, you know, just kind of... whatever. I know we're prepared for it, but it's not like we're gonna for sure put on a play. I'd just as soon not cross that bridge if I don't have to. See, here's the thing. Sasson is the active... So, Sasson is the blade, like the active blade of the very example of corrupt governmental power that Robin does not believe in, right? It is not Sasson's fault that it is his job to be that which Robin is railing against, right? Sasson basically is the exact opposite of everything that Robin Hood is, but I don't think he's doing it because he actually believes, right? He's doing it because it's his job. It's what his family did. It's what made them money. It's what allowed him to be put through school, right? So, you know. Don't worry, I can always entertain with my dancing. Besides, we also have two beautiful stars right here, right? Huh, me? I know that T.H.E is an important character in many Chinese operas, like Journey to the West, but You're not also talking about me, are you? I sure am. If I have to, I'll even bring Master up on stage. This is true. This is true. Yeah. Look, let me talk about Robin like Robin of Locksley. Let me talk about Robin. But yeah, no, I like them fighting like cats and dogs is funny and somewhat appropriate. I love that. If that is your wish, Master, I shall do my best. I believe the expression is knock them dead. That doesn't mean actually kill them. It's all pretend, got it? So don't go shooting at us or the audience. Break a leg, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and there's one last thing I want to make sure of. Nobody mentioned the Scottish play. I get we're going to try to explain our outfits as being performers' costumes, but isn't it going to be a problem that we've got some obviously Asian people here with us? I think we should be okay here. I was concerned about how Senpai would be received here, so I checked our historical records. The late 17th century was also the tail end of the Age of Exploration. At the time, most of the interesting colonization had moved on to the New World. But Europe already had a strong connection to Asia thanks to the East India Company. They regularly imported spices from Southeast Asia, textiles from India, and tea and ceramics from China. So, since Salem was a British colony and would later go on to be a thriving port town with lots of trade, the people here may not exactly see Asians every day, but they shouldn't be so unusual that it would make them distrust us. Huh. That's so? Figures that tea would be one of the Great British Empire's 3 base desires. Be that as it may, we should still prepare ourselves to be treated with prejudice. Indeed. What's more, we do not know for sure that the culture here is the same as 17th century Salem from our history or not. By the way, Seki, is there a way for us to contact Chaldea here? Huh? You mean our communications device? Didn't Da Vinci explain all this to us herself, Medea? I was present as an assistant myself, but I was preoccupied with making sure Senpai didn't nod off. Yes, of course, I just wanted to review the information, given how important it was. There, you see? Oh, Senpai. I have a special device for that purpose, though it will take time to set up. So we won't be able to report our safe arrival back to Chaldea until that's done. Can anyone at all use that device? No, only Senpai. Ordinarily, this area wouldn't permit any kind of magical communication at all. But I was told we can get around that by linking the key mechanism to Senpai's command spells, since Senpai has a strong connection to all servants still at Chaldea. However, this method makes use of a backdoor, a byproduct of sorts that happens when Shiba acts up, so I believe it will only be used for this particular ray shift. That said, it's not as though we're pressed for time. The important thing is that our ray shift here was successful. I see. They really thought this through. Is there something important you need to contact Chaldea about? No, I was just curious. Hold it. I see light up ahead. It's a campfire. Oh, does this mean we're already at the center of Salem? I doubt it. If that were the case, we'd be seeing fields long before even a hint of houses. There's a fair few people. I can hear them chattering amongst themselves. We ought to keep out of sight and move in for a closer look. I have like a cat hair like tickling my nose, and I don't know why. Well, I know why, but... let's see. Congrats, Senpai. Your white oh my god. Oh my god. Children doing satanic rituals in the woods? Who would have thought? Ooh. Absolutely wild. Do you all have your white ash branches? These are our magic wands. Now it's time to rap on the door. Tap it 3 times against the earth, against the invisible door. Rat-a-tat. This door leads to the world beyond, and once it's open, a spirit will appear and gift us with a prophecy. I ate my pancakes already. They are in my belly waiting. Oh my god, hold on a sec. I'm just like, Jesus. I get peachy hair everywhere. Like, I swear to God, I touch her. And then I'm just brushing hair off of every part of me. Sure, I can end stream and go away for like 40 minutes and come back. Okay. What sort of prophecy, Abby? It will tell you things about the future you desire, the boy of your dreams. And also, glimpses of a far, far away world that's nothing like our own. Hey there, Cthulhu, down there in your sunken city. You're 1,000 light years distant, but the stars look very pretty from relay. So close and yet so far away. Yay. Y'all should check out Hey There, Cthulhu. The spirit will whisper what you must do to make your dreams come true. I want a dress that's even whiter than snow, something that's sure to catch his eye. I want to be a brunette with hair dark as raven's feathers. I want to know who I'm going to marry one day. Yeah, and all humanity. Let's see. The stars, they look so very far, beyond the trees, beyond the stars, the world will never ever be the same, and you're to blame. Okay then, everyone, make your wish as you throw your wands into the fire. Shall we sing T.H.E's magic spell too? Yes, let's! Oh, you'll rise up from the sea. Oh, kill everyone slowly, except the ones like me. I love that song. It's so good. It's in my regular playlist. I also have I have a Christmas song about Cthulhu to the tune of Carol of the Bells as well that I really like. Which, by the way, Carol of the Bells is fantastic, especially from Trans-Siberian Orchestra. My mom apparently got me and her tickets to go see them this November, I think, and I am so excited to go see them. Okay, what the hell is all that? They look like they're girls from the village, but they're all acting, well, crazy. Aw, look how much fun they're having dancing. I wish I could join them. But what are girls that young doing out this late at night? Could it be a trap or some sort of magecraft ritual? Do you sense magical energy, Medea? Yeah. Well, yeah, yes, I know it's the wrong outer god, but I don't have a... Nobody's made a Hey There Yog-Sothoth song. The spirit is there, if not the exact outer god. Yog-Sothoth doesn't work so well in song meter. No, but, oh, this is bad. Very bad. Yeah, y'all need to make a Yog-Sothoth Christmas carol. What is? If anything, the opposite. I sense nothing since we came here. Our magecraft has been severely weakened. Here, let me prove it. Robin, Sasson, dancing girl, can you change into your spirit forms? Her name is Matahari. No, we're not going to talk about Lovecraft's cat. We're not going to talk about the name of Lovecraft's cat. No, I can't. What's going on here? Oh no, are you no longer servants? Don't tell me you've been incarnated. No, that's not what this is. It feels more like I've been crammed into a temporary human body more than anything. I thought the Spiritron conversion felt a little weird, even after the ray shift. Man, this is going to be a real pain in the ass. Who goes there? That is a creepy looking child. That is a creepy ass looking child. Who are you? Robin, lower your bow. It's just a child. Damn it, I let my guard down when we got here. She overheard what we were just talking about. Hi there, young lady. What brings you out here? You're outsiders. Senpai. Yeah, creepy child. Come play with us. Oh dear, I guess you saw us practicing our secret routine. Really, Robin, if we're going to have an audience, the least you could do is get your lines right. Oh, right. Sorry about that. I forgot the enemies don't show up till later again. Not a problem. First to act, first to win. All foes eradicated. Are you friend or foe? Do you offer us the blade or the hilt? Those eyes have seen eldritch horrors. Neja. Hello there. I am sorry if we startled you. Oh, it's supposed to be French. As you saw, that scene is not yet ready for the performance. But don't worry, we're not... that accent. Are you a French soldier? A fugitive? I have to get out of here. Oh my god. Uh-oh, she ran off into the woods. You there. Sasson, Mash, wait, we can deal with her later. Something's going on near the campfire. Master. Yeah, Abby doesn't have her keyhole in her head in this image. Ah! Stay together, everyone. They'll pick you off if we get separated. What's going on? Why are there wild beasts so close to the village? Yeah. Come on, Abby. Let's get out of here. Wait, let me get a piece of firewood. Otherwise... Ah! We have to stay together. Get back. Huh? Man, these New World beasties sure are rowdy. Who are you? Just an old dummy who didn't realize he'd been surrounded by wild beasts, young lady. Too bad none of them seem like they'd make a good dinner. Yeah. Hell, they look hungrier than we are. Demonic presence, these beasts. Beasts no longer. I mean, Ringmaster, you don't mind if we throw down with these things, right? Wait, Ringmaster, we need to help these girls first. Yes, I mean, Ringmaster. Your village is down that way, right? Then let's get going. Hey. I need to get myself like an Abby statue or two. I know there's a couple. There's a noodle sitting figure of Abby that I can get. That I would love to. Oh! Why have I been nerfed in half? Oh, this is the debuff you were talking about. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of this. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Is this gonna be for the whole chapter, or is it just for this first node? Or like certain nodes? I don't have enough casters to fix that. That's not an option for me. I could bring a caster along, but I don't have enough casters to fill out a decent team.
こではどうあっても私には及びません。おとなしく我が社に入いいね。我が軍門に下りなさい。
Ooh. Catch me listening to Cthulhu carols later today. And done. I'll go ahead with Master. You guys finish up here. What's going on here? It's lucky that these creatures weren't too strong, but it seems our strength has been halved. Indeed, this strange false incarnation has more dire effects than I thought. At this point, we may as well be human. We might be in for some tough battles down the road. Yes, it is difficult, but worry not, Sasson. The Buddha always watches and protects in forsaken lands. That's very reassuring, Neja. How did it feel to you, Medea? Oh wait, did you sit that battle out? So it only affects combat. What is it, Medea? Don't tell me you're upset that we beat them before you could. True, we may have overdone it. That albino girl saw us fighting. I see. That could be very bad. Do we silence her? Be careful how you say things, Neja. I'm merely worried about one of those beasts attacking her. I'm going to take a look around. Okay, I'll examine these beasts in the meantime. Are you all right, Senpai? Senpai? Oh, I mean... Thank you for helping us. We couldn't have escaped from those mean beasts otherwise. You saved our lives. Sansan, Neja, and Medea are putting out the campfire. They'll be here soon. Oh goodness. Are you okay? Here, I've got you. I'm sorry. Now that we're out of danger, I was just so relieved that my legs gave out. Seki. Of course. I'm Abigail. I'm Abigail. I live here in Salem. Who are you people? You don't look like sailors or merchants. We almost never get pilgrims or travelers here, and you're all wearing such strange clothes. We're the Seki Company, a band of traveling performers. This is Seki. She may be young, but she's still the ringmaster our troop is named after. We got lost on our way to Salem and ended up here in the woods. Performers? Oh wow, you mean you came all this way from Boston? That's wonderful. I've never seen a real play before. Everyone's going to be so happy. Oh, please call me Abby, Miss Ringmaster. Today's date? Well, it's already past midnight, so that would make it April 21st. Yesterday was the Sabbath. The year too? Oh, it's the year of our Lord 1692. Of all the years to come to Salem. Abigail, who are these people? Oh, Uncle. Dressed in a modern fucking suit. I don't know what you were thinking, taking the other children out into the woods in the middle of the night. But I'll deal with that later. Yes, Uncle. As for these people, Uncle, they're... Oh, thank God. Well now, traveling performers, huh? Yeah. The other girls tell me you saved them from a pack of wild beasts. And you are the troop's ringmaster, eh, Miss Seki? You must let me express my thanks. Let's see, it would be quite difficult to find a decent inn in Salem at this hour. Yeah. Actually, no, he doesn't look quite pale enough or afraid of the world. And I can't have such upstanding young men and women staying in the same flop house as the ruffians from the wharf. Who's the... Oh, there's a character that like, Lovecraft inserts into a bunch of his own stories. Oh my god, that's supposed to be, like, a version of himself, supposedly. Why don't you all come stay at my home, if that's alright with you? I've forgotten his name. Wow. Do you mean it, Uncle? That's wonderful. It's the best news I've heard in my whole life. Yeah, Randolph Carter, that's the one. That's enough, Abigail. You put all your friends in terrible danger. Once we get home, you will go straight to your room. You'll have only water tomorrow for your breakfast and lunch. And of course, you are forbidden to speak to our guests until I give you permission. Okay, I understand. I will do as you say. Oh, yes, I still haven't introduced myself. I am Randolph Carter, a scholar. I adopted Abigail as my own daughter after her parents, my sister and her husband, passed away. Now then, it's getting rather chilly and we can talk more tomorrow. You'll feel much better after you've rested up from your journey in a nice warm bed. I'll have T.H.E fix you something to eat too. Oh my god, I called it. Oh my god. Jesus. I don't know, I think the white-haired pale child in the woods would have been my sign. That's supposed to be... What's her name? Like, is it Lavinia or something? Lavinia Waitley? Is that who that's supposed to be? Waitley? With the giant wide eyes and the white hair and like the slight redness to the center of them? Yeah? From the Dunwich Horror? Because I feel like I remember that. Being a character. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. I'm definitely gonna have to listen to those just to get just so I understand the rhyming scheme of that stuff. Yeah, dude, I love that shit. Okay. Yeah, I thought so. I remember talking about the Waitleys in that video. Because she shows up in a lot of the same craft essences as Abby. I have so few of these horseshoes. I use them for a lot of servants, so I don't really have a lot of them. But imagine, like, if you didn't read, like, Lovecraft stuff, right? Imagine, like, you read a ton about the history of Salem, and then Randolph Carter gets introduced, and you're like, huh, guess it's just some random person from, like, modern-day Salem or something, because you didn't read Lovecraft. That would be wild to not recognize Randolph Carter and Lavinia Waitley. Oh, and immediately a no battle node. Oh! 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 That was weird. That was strange. Oh! Oh, yeah! Yeah, because Knick-Knack, you weren't really a Lovecraft person. That's not really your thing. You don't like actively read those like regularly for fun. Oh. There we go. Thank you for fetching the water, T.H.E, but I guess that will be my lunch today. Oh, please cheer up, Miss Abby. Where are our guests? Inside. Uncle went off to see the Reverend. I'm sure I will be scolded again later. I see. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. I double-checked everything, Senpai, but I'm afraid it's not working? Well, that's not good. I guess not even Da Vinci's inventions always work perfectly. Ninja, try swallowing your oatmeal before you speak. I mean, yeah. See, I hated The Crucible. I don't know how you... Maybe I think I hated it because of the context that I was forced to read it in, but I hate The Crucible. Jesus. Come to think of it, weren't you supposed to be, you know, smarter? Because stuffing your face when you're a guest in someone's home isn't really a good look, you know. Especially when it's in a village that doesn't exactly seem to be overflowing with wealth. This. So I can easier access some stuff. Sides. Oats are for horses, not people. I agree, I don't like oatmeal. Hi, Andrea. I hope you have a good day, too. Yeah, so Zara Herrera, to put it into perspective, I had to read it in junior year of high school. Now, in freshman year, I had been in advanced English, right? My mom actually taught that class. It was an interesting experience. I think I just didn't address her by name for, like, the entire year in class, because I refused to say, like, Mrs. and then her last name. Like, I refuse. That's my mother. But I also couldn't just call her, like, mom in class. So, like... Oh, it was such a strange experience. And I almost flunked the year because I told her that, like, I was such a rebellious little shit as a teenager, but she, like, kept reminding me that I had, like, homework to do at home. And I was like, you are not my teacher at home. And every time you remind me to do something at home, I'm just not going to do it at home. And I will only work during school hours. So I did miss a lot of assignments because of that. I was such a bad student for her. But, so I'd gone up to, and then I was in an advanced program for my 10th grade English, and then I dropped down out of that program, so I was in regular English for 11 because they wouldn't put me in the honors, because I dropped out of the other program, right, by choice. And so I was stuck in regular 11, and I did go on to AP 12, right? But, yeah. Look! It was necessary! I was setting a boundary, Knick-Knack. Setting a boundary. She is not my teacher outside of a school context. Like, I cannot come home and have her being like, so did you remember you have homework due for my class tomorrow? No. 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 We can't be doing that. But so as I was in regular 11, and our teacher loved The Crucible and The Great Gatsby. They ended up being the only two books we did that year. And with The Great Gatsby, he made us watch both the DiCaprio movie and the one with Robert Redford. And we had to read the book out in, like, small groups, popcorn style, audibly. In small chunks at a time, which was a horrendous way to have to read that book. And then when we did The Crucible, he, like, gave us all copies of it, and he was like, all right, I want you to get into groups of 4, and you're each gonna pick which characters you're gonna be in your groups of 4, and then you're gonna read it out to each other like a play in these little, like, squares of desks. And then when you're done doing that, and we're only going, like, 10 pages at a time, right? When you're done doing that, we're gonna watch the movie, right? It was awful. It was a horrendous experience. Because, like, look, I understand that I read extremely fast, right? And because of that, it is actually painful for me to have to wait and listen for people to read things out loud, especially things like The Great Gatsby or The Crucible, when the people I'm sitting with, and this is no insult to them as human beings or their intelligence, but simply because they do not read as much as I do, they don't know how to pronounce words because they've never come across them contextually. And they don't know what words mean. And they, like, the sentence structure is different from what they're used to. And it takes, like, 15 times longer because of that. And it's not anyone's fault but my own. This is an issue I have. But it made the experience of reading the play actually torturous. Like, actually torturous. Horrendous. And so I have the worst opinion to The Crucible and The Great Gatsby specifically. Out of any book that I had to read in school, right? Like, the worst opinions I have are to those two specific books for the circumstances in which I had to read them. I do not feel as vitriolic about any other book I had to read in school. It's just those two. And it was awful. Just awful. I could do a much better job of preparing this dish even with the same ingredients. This village just doesn't have the luxury of caring about food. I do feel hunger in this body. It must be an effect of this false incarnation. Of course, I expect we would be regarded with suspicion if we were never seen eating. Try not to be so uptight about it. It'll make things a lot easier if we go around playing up our image as a bunch of weirdos. I was actually able to check out the entire village. I also spread word about our troop a bit, so make sure you guys play along. You already finished investigating the area? It's not even afternoon yet. Way to go, sis. Like you always say, first things first. So what is the story with the village? Like Abby said, this is definitely Salem in 1692. All the villagers' stories line up. They're Puritans who originally hail from England. Most of them are farmers, fishers, and hunters, but they're also blacksmiths and cloth dryers, not to mention the Reverend. They're all industrious colonists who wake up with the sun and spend their days hard at work. There are a number of warehouses at the wharf, along with boats headed for England and the West Indies. Huh? That doesn't line up with our history. Salem didn't get a major wharf until... Did you say boats? As in sailors? Medea. I mean, that certainly makes sense given that this is a port town. Yeah, no, See, I wasn't in any classes that small, thank God. I mean, like... I don't know. The biggest problem I always had was sometimes teachers are like, let's read out loud and we'll go in order and each of you is going to like read to a certain point. But like follow along in your own time. But the thing is, follow along in my own time. I'm reading the book and then suddenly it gets to like the person before me and I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm reading. And I'm already 20 pages ahead because I just read faster than people speak. And then I have to like flip back and find the page I'm on. And then it's awful. It's awful. I mean, that certainly makes sense given that this is a port town. You kind of seemed like Lily for a moment there. Don't you lump me in with that child. I guess there must have been an error in Sheba's observations, but still. I noticed other deviations from our history too. People still live their lives here just like they did in our own late 17th century, but they're not all the same people. There are lots of folks here who weren't on the list of Salem's original residents. I haven't yet managed to figure out what it is they have in common, though. I see. Guess that means this is the Salem of our past. I'm kind of sad that this isn't going to be a Shadow over Innsbruck, you know? Like, I'm a little sad that we haven't gotten a Shadow over Innsbruck chapter, because this is obviously based on Yog-Sothoth, which means it's based on the Dunwich horror. My favorite Lovecraft, like, sort of longer story, right? Because they're all sort of comparatively short. My favorite longer story is A Shadow over Innsmouth. Yeah. For my part, I scoped out the local topography around sunrise. And while the distinctive topography and architecture is still all there, the rest seems kind of off. There's a bunch of stuff that doesn't line up with the historical files Chaldea gave us. Then, as we suspected, this village is actually a cunningly crafted fake. So, whoever built this place is only using 17th century Salem as a cover and has swapped out both the buildings and the citizens. Does this mean there's major historical change on par with a singularity from the incineration of humanity taking place? That's just it. There can't be more than 16, maybe 1,700 people here. And I didn't see any place that could be used to keep the 50,000 people who disappeared. 50,000 people. I wonder where they could have gone. And that's not our only major problem. There's also the witch trials. In our own history, 1692 was the very year when the accusations that started the witch trials began. This is a peaceful village, or at least it looked that way on the surface. But I did also see farmers arguing pretty fiercely about who owned certain lands. They looked like they were nursing some major frustrations underneath their pious exteriors. I don't blame the girls here for wanting to step out and let their hair down for a bit like they did last night. I took a peek at their grain stores, and it didn't look like they had much to spare. They must have had a string of poor crops. Seemed to me like they just barely made it through the winter. Ah. Yeah, I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot popping up for someone who reads Lovecraft pretty actively. I think that's nice. This is the first chapter where I really get to sink my teeth into it a little bit. This house just happens to be on the more prosperous side. There aren't many homes here that could accommodate guests. For that matter, what if the images we got from Shibo were falsified? I can't deny that's a possibility, but... Oh. Oh my, are you already discussing your next performance? I hope that means you slept well, honored guests. Oh, T.H.E, right? That's right, my name is T.H.E. I'm Mr. Carter's servant. A servant? Her? I apologize for prying, T.H.E, but may I ask? You wish to know where I'm from. I was born on the island of Barbados, in the Caribbean. A lot of people like me were. I may work for Mr. Carter now, but I used to work for Miss Abby's father. We were told that Abigail's parents passed away. That's right, they were both killed by native people in the forest. Miss Abby was very sad about it for a long time. I felt terrible for her. I don't know what would have become of her if her uncle hadn't come along. See, bringing Geronimo along would have been a very bad idea given that as a backstory for Abby in this chapter. She's doing much better these days. It's wonderful to see her smiling and happy again, but now I hear she was nearly killed by wild beasts in the woods. She must have been frightened out of her mind. Killed by the natives. Oh. So this is why Geronimo said he would be putting Master in unnecessary danger if he came along. Most people would be pretty wary of outsiders after having their parents killed. But not her. She still seems real trusting. Yes, she really is a very kind girl. She even goes out of her way to talk to servants like myself. I hope you don't mind if we ask another question. Last night there was another girl besides Abigail's friends who... Oh, would you look at the time? I'm so sorry, but I need to get back to work. I hope you enjoy your stay. Thanks for the food. Master, a word if you don't mind. Oh, yeah, because Dagon from Mesopotamian myth is not the same as Dagon from Cthulhu mythos. What did you make of that servant? You mean preternaturally beautiful? No, I thought she was rather homely. Is something wrong, Medea? It's not safe to stay here. This place is being subjected to something more powerful than we realize. Really? I'd say this place brings back some nice memories. The wind whistling through the gaps in the walls, the sour smell of horse shit, the head-splitting sound of church bells, the bland, pasty food, the boring British small talk. Those hardly sound like pleasant memories. At any rate, don't forget that we have a duty to help those missing 50,000 people, Robin. Oh, right. Sorry, I almost forgot about Frog Legs here hopping along after it. Jesus fucking Christ, these two. This is great. Remember how we were like frenemies to lovers for Jean and Jalter and Salter? I think I might be starting to ship Sasson and Robin. Really quickly, I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'll be back. By outbreak. Good. I'm happy I am accurately picking up what they are laying down, because this feels like not enemies to lovers, but like rivals to friends with benefits to, you know, to lovers. That's what this feels like. Now don't start that again, you two. T.H.E didn't do anything wrong. Why are you doing this? Oh, yeah, I can see that. Huh? I think that came from outside. That was Abby's voice. Guess the head of the house is back. Step aside, Abigail. I'm the one who deserves...
Becky.
Jesus! Fuck!
No, I won't stick around long. I'm technically on an afternoon walk on my lunch.
Oh my god. Okay. I don't know if chat can hear you. I don't know if I have that enabled.
My audio quality has to be absolute hot garbage right now.
Oh. No, I have Discord enabled. It's actually not that bad. It could be worse.
Well, I'm on AirPods next to I guess it's a quiet place I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, we're not getting background noise. You're fine.
All right, I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Have a good stream, Stephanie.
All right, you popping out now?
At least till I get back to my apartment.
Yeah, that's valid.
All right.
Oh Jesus! See, I don't control where the ads go, which is wild to be like. I love to hear it when you guys say where the ads go, because I do think it's funny the moments that they choose. I'm the one who deserves to be punished, Uncle, not her. Didn't you say that yourself, Miss Abby? The other girls and their parents say otherwise. They say that T.H.E taught you a heretical ritual and that you all snuck out last night to attempt it. I had them promise to keep quiet about it so that rumors don't spread around the village. What in the world were you doing in the forest in the middle of the night, Abigail? Something wrong, Mr. Carter. Miss Secchi, I'm afraid my niece was doing something even worse than I believed last night. Unfortunately, I can no longer permit her to attend your production. What? But that's not fair! This is no mere mischief to be simply excused. It is fortunate you were there to ensure no one was hurt. But T.H.E must be punished, and harshly, for filling the children's heads with this nonsense. She will no longer be permitted to be in their company. Why is there... Why is... Oh, I just got a notification from the back end of my YouTube, and then nothing happened. Interesting. Punished? No, Uncle, please. She only told me because I begged her to. Please, Uncle, punish me instead. I'll take whatever punishment you see fit, even lashes, so please. It's okay, Miss Abby. I'll be all right. If I may, Mr. Carter. I understand how frustrating it must be to have a young girl under your charge running off at night. You must have been worried sick about Abby to have come so deep into the woods searching for her. That said, I know that wild beasts sometimes go after livestock, but I thought that they usually stayed away from people these days. That's true, but it's not just beasts we need to worry about. The nearby forest is very dangerous. Some even say that this land is cursed, that God himself has forsaken our village. Abigail. Abigail? She just ran off. Mr. Carter. Leave her be. As for you, T.H.E, you are no longer to talk about your hometown, no matter how much the other girls beg you. Is that clear? Yes, Mr. Carter. I promise I won't do it again. I'm so sorry about this. Yeah. Carter's going off about people who don't come from traditionally New England families. Traditionally New England families, not just foreigners, but people from New England, born and bred here. They are the only people that are acceptable. That's perhaps the only quality of Lovecraft's writing where I'm just like, yeah, okay. At least you're like equal. You treat everyone equally in this way. Is the fact that he was afraid of everyone who was not a traditional person from New England. It didn't matter what color your skin was. You could be white, you could be any color, and he did not like you. It was like equal opportunity hatred and fear. Terrible person. Hilarious that he didn't draw a line there. I love that it's like regional and historical that he requires. Like, has to be traditionally New England. What should we do, senpai? Ah, good old H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Something is definitely happening here. I see. So we'll split up into teams and investigate the village further. Understood. Our goal is to find someone trustworthy. Alright, Neja, what do you say we go check out the ocean? Detection ability, full power. I'll stay in Mr. Carter's house, Master. It'd be a danger to go around dressed like this anyways. And there's something nagging me about T.H.E. I'll keep an eye on Mr. Carter too while I'm at it. Yeah. Okay, but like Lovecraft's opinions on non-Euclidean geometry, which is hilarious because if you know what non-Euclidean geometry is, it's really not all that strange, right? It is simply geometry performed on a curved surface, right? Which means it's literally any geometry performed on the Earth, right? Like, so it's not even that complex. But like I love like his teacher's notes, right? That like he flunked out of math and science, right? Because it was like too strenuous for him, right? And because of that, he had a fear of math and science. I'm like, I too wish I could have flunked out of math and science simply because, like, literally, oh no, math's scary. Yeah, I know. I had to take statistics 3 times in college in 3 different teaching styles. It was awful. But I didn't get to flunk out of math. Oh wow, that's a lot of no. Yeah, it's fine. I'm okay with no battle nodes, because I'm enjoying the story so far. Those must be the traveling performers. What were they thinking, coming all this way to perform in a village like this? I mean, yeah. Yeah. That's definitely was probably a factor. Like, I think he had other issues outside of that, but, like, I fully believe that he likely had a lot of mental issues. Whether or not it might have been, like, a diagnosable illness versus just trauma and experience, I couldn't make a judgment. But, like, you don't become like that without something happening. Yeah. But he also didn't understand what it would lead to, which made him, like, the things he was fearing weren't necessarily things he should have been fearing, like, in technicality, because he just didn't understand at all. Yeah, that's fair, Knick-Knack. My first statistics teacher, so I took statistics 3 times in college, right? My first statistics teacher used to tell us that we had to do all of our homework and test problems by hand. He didn't even want, he wouldn't even allow us to use a calculator. And when you're working with like T values and R values and stuff, it's almost impossible to do that without a calculator, and still be accurate to like the level that he wanted. And like his response was like, oh, if you could do it with a calculator, it'll be so much easier once you do have one. And I could not do that. Like I simply, I don't have the like number recall and like snap like ability to like add, subtract, multiply, divide in the way that I think he expected everyone to be able to do. Like I really struggled with that teaching style. And then my second statistics teacher basically had us run everything through a program. So it was just input numbers into the correct box on this spreadsheet program and then hit enter after writing the correct command and it pops out the answer for you. And that was fine. But it wasn't, it was like something that the university paid for. So it's not a program that that I'm able to use like in my everyday life without paying like a huge subscription for. So like it's not actually helpful because I didn't really learn anything other than just how to use like the file edit like menus, right? So it wasn't super helpful, you know? my third statistics class was statistics for archaeologists using RStudio, and my professor for that was actually fantastic. I had him 3 semesters in a row. I took morning classes with him, different classes each time. But his RStudio was great because RStudio is free, right? It uses the R language in the RStudio. It's relatively easy to use. And he would, like, our entire textbook was based on actual anthropological and archaeological statistic situations where we were working through real life examples with real world data, right? That had been brought together and collated. And then he would kind of show us how to do each concept, right? With a bunch of like example problems. And then he'd give us problems in the book to do that were based on the real examples. And then we could like work through them, right? It's like step by step, but he didn't hold our hands. Like we had to actually learn like the different commands and the way that the system worked. And we had to understand what the system was doing because he also focused on making us explain our results, right? Like don't just write down a number to answer the question, but explain them. Which really, really helped. That was the best statistics class I ever had. And it was useful because it's stuff that I'm actually going to go on to use. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Jens. That's the big thing. And like to a certain extent, I get that. Sometimes you just get stuck in a rut, right? And he had moments of like, you know, where he was like living a better life and then moments where he wasn't. I really think it was probably detrimental to his mental health to break up with his wife and move back to New England to live with his aunts and stuff, right? Like at that point in his life. But like some people just don't, it's so much harder for them to socialize and be like, you know, happy people. Depression hits a lot of people like so hard, and it can make anyone fucked up in the head. Yeah, no, statistics can be super important across quite a few fields. It's just I had like one teacher who was like, oh, I want you to be able to do it without the computer, because what if you need to do like a t-value without a computer? No, I'm never going to be asked to do a t-value without a fucking computer. You always use the computer to double check because the computer is more accurate than you are as a human. Like, I forgot to write a 9 8 digits down in my fucking decimal point, and so my number is like 2 standard values off, right? Not because I'm bad at math, but because I forgot to write down a number, right? The computer won't forget that number. First of all. Then second of all, use the computer, never learn the actual concepts, which is not helpful because then you can't apply it after your test, right? Yeah. What a disgraceful outfit. I could never let my child see that. I hope they put on a play about a romance between aristocrats. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we used Excel sometimes so my statistics professor for archaeology, he actually did have us do basic statistics and stuff in Excel in a previous class. So the RStudio was kind of like expanding upon that into actual statistic work where you're like, you know, sampling up to like 10,000 numbers and stuff like that. Oh, I need to sneeze. Now that I've said it, I don't get to sneeze. Hi there, young man. I hope you'll come out to see the Seki Company perform. Oy. I thought I was used to being stared at, but this is something altogether different. Remember, we're supposed to be entertainers now, so you can't get angry no matter what they say to you. I know, but I can't help being French. Like it's a disease! I'm just as out of place here. Besides, you can pass as an educated gentleman as long as you keep quiet. In my case, I just come across as a Roma who came to the New World to make my fortune. These villagers may not care for the British Army, but they don't have much love for the French either. In fact, this British settlement and France are currently at odds with one another. Yeah, casually approach the child. Okay. Yeah. It's like, I understand just like giving you the instructions on how to do things and where to put the numbers, but I think it is really truly helpful for you to actually be able to understand what Excel is doing or like what your program is doing just in case you have to troubleshoot, you know, like what if what you come out doesn't agree with what your friend got, right? Okay, so then you have to go back step by step and troubleshoot your problem. That's why my statistics for anthropology teacher, he would, like, our answers had to include every single argument. So what we would have to do is basically solve the problem out in R, right? And then copy paste the entire problem solve into a document for him, right? So he can see right from like the first line that we put in of commands and work through it. That way, if you got something wrong, you could compare it with what he did or with what the book did and then figure it out, you know? Oh, yeah, no. You have to use you can use our language without RStudio, but using RStudio makes it so much easier. So much easier. No. No. I don't do Flash math. I don't do Flash math. And the statistical significance of something like that is akin to the argument about flipping a penny and assuming that after hitting head so many times you're going to get a tail. No, statistics does not accept the idea that you have to get one of each answer. It is a completely new calculation every single time, so long as you're not removing an option from the pool. So if you keep flipping something with a bunch of options, right, and you never remove them from the pool, the statistical chance of it happening is never going to change, right? Like, every single time I flip a coin, it's going to be 50-50, right? It doesn't become 25-75 after I've landed on head 3 times, right, and not tails. Because I'm not removing... Jesus fucking Christ, you can do... Okay. No. Only 40 miles north, the French army led Native Americans against a northern British colony, completely wiping it out. Naturally, the British retaliated, and the respective colonies ended up fighting a fearsome battle. The competition for resources is fierce between colonies. War is all but inevitable. Truth be told, my great-grandfather, the first head of our family, was part of the French colonial army himself. He was deployed to Canada, but he must have taken part in skirmishes around this area as well. I see. No wonder you have such complex feelings about this place. Retaliation after retaliation, soldiers sacrificing their lives to avenge the loss of their commanders. Is that why you and Robin are always arguing? You really should stop taking shots at him. You know, Jens, if I remember to find the PDF, I might actually shoot you a Discord DM with the online version of the textbook and like the work that we used for R and RStudio, because I really think that like it was incredibly well explained with like super great examples of like how to use it. If you're interested, obviously if you're not, don't bother. But you know, I still have all this like the link to the book and stuff like that. Like I remember what book it was, and I still have my like worksheets from it, or not worksheets, but like you know what I mean. Like, yeah, like I'm not even a math nerd. I don't like math. I don't like science. You're barking up the wrong tree there. He's the one who keeps provoking me. And you're at least partially to blame for that. As long as you're going to be working together, you'll need to find ways to get along. Sometimes other people just have their own way of doing things, and that's okay. I'm trying to be as accommodating as I can. Oh, isn't that... Yes, that's the girl we saw last night. I've been looking for her too. Oh, creepy little girl. I can't believe a Waitley is out and about in broad daylight. You've got a lot of nerve coming out now when you never show your face at church. I'm just going to buy whale oil. Whale oil? And just what are you going to do with that? Are you going to use it for another blasphemous spell, or... Pardon me, has this girl wronged you somehow? Who are you? Oh, you're one of those traveling performers. That's right, my name is Sanson. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Tell me, what possible use would this girl have for oil besides lighting a lantern? What could she possibly have done to warrant such treatment? Well, what business is it of yours? Ugh, Charles, we just talked about this. Are you threatening me? No, that was not my intention. I apologize if I offended you. Huh, what a strange man. He's gone now. Well, I guess that worked out in the end. So, you do live in this village. The fugitive from last night? Your performers? That's right. I'm sorry for frightening you. She hasn't let her guard down at all. Would you mind if we asked you about what happened last night? Anything you could tell us would be a big help. That really surprised us, seeing something like that happen right after we got here. Did Abby say something to you? Oh, so you're a friend of Abigail's? That makes this easier. Stop it. Nobody's friends with me. Creepy little kid. Lavinia! My name is Lavinia Waitley. Everyone in Salem knows my family, and hates them. Did you think that old man was just yelling at me for no reason? He wasn't. The whole village hates what we're doing. I don't blame them. So your family is tying you down. I'm Charles-Henri Sanson. I may be French, but I'm not your enemy. Are you defending me? Why are you being nice to me? Is it because of how I look? I'm an albino, a freak, a living skeleton. All your albinism means is that you were born without enough melanin. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just a part of who you are. I don't find it ugly at all. However, it would behoove you to eat better if you don't mind me saying so. You're an idiot. If you want your show to succeed here, you should stay away from me. We would never charge admission to children. Isn't that right, Matahari? Of course not. We hope to see you at our show, Lavinia. If you like, we'd even be happy to provide a seat where you can watch in privacy without worrying about the rest of the audience. Then, I just have one request. What's that? Don't tell Abby I was there last night. If you do, I'll tell everyone else what I saw. I'll tell them you used magecraft to kill those beasts. I saw the whole thing. Oh, we're being threatened by a child. Why is she so certain about that? So you wish us to keep your presence a secret from Abigail, do you? I can see that this is very important to you. So, what will you do? All right, we promise we won't tell her. Don't talk to me again, okay? I'm afraid we can't promise that. Guess we've got a problem on our hands. Could an ordinary child be so unbothered after seeing a fight like that? The Waitley family. I think we'd better look into them as well. That's all well and good, but you kind of look to me like you cared more about her than her possible connection to the demon god pillar. Are you sure we can trust her? I am, yes. Really now. Well, never mind that for the time being. Let's go report this to Master. I wonder how Robin and the others are doing. Okay, so we are flipping over, not ending the node. You know, Nervemeister, something that's helped me, and I know that this doesn't help everyone necessarily, right? But my system when in class, right, is I take my notes, right, in class. I take notes by hand, right? And that's a personal preference. Some people prefer by like a computer or by iPad or something else. I take notes by hand because I write faster by hand than I can type, right? So I take my notes by hand, and then after the class, right, like it's the same day usually, but like, you know, within a couple days of the class, I will go through and I will highlight, right, in like one color, all of like the things that I thought were important over like my notes, right? Like concepts that I want to make sure I remember and stuff like that. And then right before, you know, when you're studying for like exams or tests or when you hit an end of a unit, go back over your notes with a second highlighter and maybe some post-it notes. And then you can like highlight things that maybe in like lessons after that were more important, right, than you thought they were. Or you can make notes about connections that you're seeing in your notes. And that way you listen to the notes, right? Like you listen to the lecture, you write down the notes. And by writing, like physically writing down the notes or typing the notes out, you have to think about them, right? And then when you go over them again to highlight them, you're going over them again. So you get 2 to 3 repetitions of the same information. And that's always been super helpful to me personally. Yeah, the average diet in just in general in 1690s like colonial America was fucking terrible. Cuz like you're living mostly off of like hunted game and like, you know, filler crops, right? And filler crops are terrible for your teeth and stuff like that. So you've got like huge problems with that, and then because you don't have like the most like filled out farming system, you're getting like nutritional deficiencies and other issues just from the sheer lack of variety in your diet, right? Like because you're relying on wheat to be like your main form of like filler crop, you're just getting nutritional deficiencies from all the things that wheat doesn't provide, right? As you go. Yeah, that's another thing that really helps. If you can find someone who's like not in the same class as you, like a friend or something, or a parent or someone to talk to, and like explain the concepts that you took notes on to them, right? Because if you can explain a concept so that someone else understands it, then you understand that concept as well, right? Like that's also really helpful. Sometimes when I like learn new things, I literally just walk out to like where my mom is sitting and I tell her the things I learned and explain them to her. We were talking about middle voice last night in my Latin translating class, right? And I went out to the living room and I was talking to mom about middle voice, and like English doesn't have middle voice and neither does Russian. So like she didn't really understand what it was, and so I had to go looking into it more because I didn't know how to explain it. And I realized, obviously I don't really know if I don't know how to explain it, I don't know what it is, right? Because otherwise you'd be able to explain it, which is really helpful. Yeah. Yeah, cheat sheets are great. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Wright. That's unfortunate. I've shown it on the channel before. You know what? Let me go grab it really quickly before we get into this thing. So I can show. I have a good example. Put my headphones back on. I have a good example of this for myself. I'll send a picture into like the Discord chat later, so if you're in there you can see it. But so this is my osteology notebook, right? I keep my notebooks. And so like as you can see, I've been over this multiple times with different colors of highlighter, right? And then I added little notes in the margins, and then when I can, you can either like draw or like print small pictures that like help you with certain concepts. You can like trace, draw, like whatever you need to do to like help you remember that specific thing. Like if you look here, I've got like a drawing of like this is like the structure of cranial bone, right? With labels that I just drew offhand after class when I had time, right? So I could label exocranial, endocranial, diploe, and stuff like that. Just because it makes it easier to remember sometimes, right? And I also keep all of my notebooks. Anything that I've done like a class in that I want to keep like the information to kind of retain, I keep the actual notebook and I keep them in a specific area in my office that I can go back to them and refer to them if there's like ever a concept that I'm like, I know I learned about that in a class and I don't quite remember it. I just go back to it. Sometimes these notebooks will have like 5 or 6 classes in them. Like if I'm taking like 5 or 6 classes with the same professor, I'll just keep all my notes just in order from like all the different classes I'm taking. So like that's another thing that I tend to do a lot, and it's always been really helpful for me. And obviously like my writing is very neat and very small, and that's sort of like a natural advantage I have, is very small and neat handwriting. But it's not necessary, you know? Like, you just have to find a way that works specifically for you and the way that your mind sort of retains information. Oh, yeah. Yeah, master sheets, the small paper pieces, yeah, stuff like that. I remember I had a teacher who wanted us to be able to label like all of the different like the evolution of like Homo sapiens from like Sahelanthropus, and I remember just walking around the house and I would like stop and like look at my mom and be like Africanus, Afarensis, like I would just be listing them in the order and I'd be like, it's this, this, and this. And sometimes I would just give my mom the chart and then recite them to her until I could recite them without having to struggle. You know? So. Oof. But yeah. And images. Images are so helpful. I didn't use images when I was like younger. I should have used them more. I literally, like, some of those images you saw were printed. I think I got like a $15, it's like a faux memo printer. It's literally this big. So it prints on a roll of paper that's like that wide, and you can get white or colored. And it's just a little Bluetooth connection. The rolls of paper are like $5, and you can cut them anywhere, and it's basically a sticker. And so I would literally just, what I would do is I would like keep my phone open and I would like snap pictures or like wait until after class or something if the teacher didn't allow it. And then I would just do like all the images I wanted onto one roll of paper, print them, cut them, and then put them in my notebook when I could. Because it was like a little small, cheap, it wasn't great quality, but like I could read all the photos that I printed and I was able to have that image there for myself, right? And if I couldn't print them, I could like put like a piece of paper up on like a screen and trace them if that helped and stuff like that, or try to draw them myself by memory. Yeah. Robin, suggestion, listen. What is it, Prince Neja? If you've got something secret to tell me, make it quick. Because there's a sweet little tavern over there with my name on it. On duty, drink not, want not. Robin, you should not be drinking on the job. I mean, Robin, listen, have a suggestion. Yeah, what is it already? This area, strange, unrealistic, therefore no sense in sneaking. We capture villagers, question them individually. Rational, efficient. We can handle anyone who resists. Concern, unnecessary. Aha, I see. No wonder you were cast in a period piece. Naturally. So, you're kind of chafing under the whole slow, methodical investigation thing, yeah? I don't blame you. If we wanted to run in and start throwing our weight around to find out what we're looking for quickly, we could do that. We're servants, and they're just ordinary people. They'd be way easier to handle than monsters. That said, I won't pretend like I've got everything figured out, but even though we can feel the runaway demon god pillar's aura all around us, we're still trying to figure out what's really going on here. You still haven't been at Chaldea all that long. You weren't with us traveling back in time during the restoration of humanity. Back then, we had to be real careful not to interfere too much, or we could have ended up changing history. There's little chance of that happening here, but we've still had to be careful. Careful not to bring along anything that didn't exist in this time so we could get in here to begin with. And we're dealing with this false incarnation nonsense weakening us. If we'd just stormed in and made enemies of the whole town, we might have wound up dead. They could have brought a whole militia against us, or something. We always had the option of brute force when necessary in other singularities, but here I think that might actually be the worst thing we could do. I'm pretty sure Master's picked up on this too, you know? If you were to ask her, she'd tell you that violence isn't the answer here in Salem. It's kind of like we're trying to make our way through dense fog with someone else holding on to our lifeline. Don't know about you, but I sure don't want to accidentally break one of this world's rules we don't yet know about and just get knocked right off the stage. As long as we don't know who we're up against, it's best to act like each step could be our last. Besides, we're out here trying to keep these people safe, remember? This is a peaceful village of innocent people. We have no call to go around hurting them, right? Pondering. Reconsidering. Understood. We'll play along. Really? Awesome. Good to see you can listen, unlike a certain frog I could mention. Right then, let's go and try some of that Caribbean imported rum. No drinking. Hinders investigation out of the question. Come on, you're kidding, right? Don't get all straight-laced on me now, Your Highness. Ridiculous. Okay, and this is our third group. So the sea is right past those wheat fields. This whole area must be grassland. I really like that land like this that's shared and managed by the whole village is called a common here. This should be the side Abby ran off to. I wonder where she could be now. By the way, Senpai, did you think there was something a little strange about Medea? I thought I was just imagining things before we race shifted, but now... No, she was acting strange. It was weird. So you thought so too, then. She just doesn't seem like herself somehow. At first, I thought she might just be upset about how we asked her to come to a place that's best known for its witch trials. But then she was eager to help me set up the comms device last night. I'm just not sure what to think anymore. Okay, thank you, Senpai. Of course, I hope I'm wrong about this. We made it through the bounded field and into Salem. No matter how peaceful the scenery may be, this is still enemy territory. It's eminently possible we've played into their hands without realizing it. Ooh, look, a gold rabbit. Huh? Where did that come from? A gold rabbit? Where is it? Wait, that's not a gold rabbit. That's a golden hair. It's Abby! Ugh, don't tease me like that, Senpai. Idiots. Oh, hello, Miss Ringmaster. Hello, Mash. Did you come here all this way looking for me? I'm sorry for running off like that. I promise I'll go home soon. I would just like to stay out here a little longer. Abby. I'm sorry. I made someone as wonderful and nice as you worry, Mash. I know it was all my fault. And I know that Uncle is just being sensible. He's completely right. I was thoughtless and I put all my friends in danger. I even ended up getting T.H.E in awful trouble when she didn't do anything wrong, and after she told me such wonderful tales from her homeland, too. After all that, I shouldn't just be allowed to watch her show like I did nothing wrong. I don't know what to say to her. Is there any way we can cheer her up, Senpai? A walk? Okay, I love going on walks. There's a path to the beach down that hill over there. The wind's not too cold today, so I bet it's perfect weather for a walk. It's really nice out, right? Yes, it's lovely. Oh, I almost forgot. Uncle said I'm not supposed to talk to the guests. Oh, yes, that's a wonderful idea. You're fun, Miss Ringmaster. My favorite things? I'm so glad you asked, Miss Ringmaster. I have so many, it's hard to keep track. Let's see. One of them is definitely pancakes. I adore fluffy pancakes with lots of butter and crispy bacon on top. Oh, and more than anything, I love mashed potatoes covered with piping hot gravy. Oh, I am right there with you, Mash. I fuck with mashed potatoes and gravy. There's nothing better than that. That does sound incredibly delicious. Gravy, huh? I've heard of it before, but I've never actually had it. What's it like? Oh, goodness, Mash, you've never had gravy before? Do they not make it in Europe? It's a scrumptious sauce made using the juices from cooked meat. The grown-ups all like to put it on turkey and steak, but I really love it on mashed potatoes. Yeah. Oh, man, I love gravy on potatoes. It's not the kind of thing you have every day either. You only get to enjoy it on Thanksgiving. It's too bad you and the rest of the Seki company didn't come during a holiday, Miss Ringmaster. It has been a while since we celebrated anything, though. I see. I'm sorry to hear that. Still, the meal that T.H.E made for us was very good in its own right. I'd never had porridge before either, so it was quite novel. It's okay, Mash. I understand. You don't have to be so polite. I have put bacon bits in pancake batter, and it is delicious. Like, because I like salty things like that. I get pepper bacon. Oh, like a good pepper bacon. Ooh, so good. T.H.E does the best she can with what little we have. But I know that porridge isn't something seasoned travelers like you would really love. I'm sorry. I guess you saw right through me. T.H.E cares a lot about being frugal, though. I'm not sure why. Maybe it has to do with her own beliefs. So when she makes porridge, she'll water down the milk and skimp a lot on the honey. I'm not sure if Uncle just doesn't mind or if he likes how she saves him money, but he never says a word about it. There are so many things Salem is missing. Oh, you want to know how I feel about Salem? Nobody's ever asked me that before. I'm not quite sure how to answer it. Were you born here, Abby? Yes, I was. There was a comet in the sky the year I was born. It was so big you could even see it during the day. I don't remember seeing it myself, but I'm sure it must have been a wonderful sight. Anyway, I'm sure Salem pales in comparison to someplace like Boston. But even this town has a lot going for it. Uncle told me that its name comes from the word Jerusalem. You know all about Jerusalem, right? Every good Christian does. It's the holy city that was once ruled by both King David and King Solomon. The Knights of the Crusades headed east to find it, but our Pilgrim Fathers set sail for the west instead. When they arrived at the New World, they founded the towns of Plymouth, Boston, and Salem. It must have been really hard when they first arrived, but now ships come here from all around the world. And you saw how big our rye fields are, right? Can you believe this is all used to be woodland once? God was kind enough to let us put down roots and settle here. We're truly blessed. You're very proud about being part of a pioneer village, aren't you? Of course I am. It's where I was born and raised, after all. Isn't everyone proud of where they grew up? Yes, that's right. I think I can understand how you feel, if only a little. This is how history was made, after all. Plus, at this time, New England was still a British colony and hadn't yet declared its independence as America. America? Who's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Just forget I said anything. That's right. The people of Salem are still technically British, even if they did become colonists to seek their independence. I have to remember they're not servants and don't have any modern-day knowledge. Have you ever been anywhere besides Salem, Abby? Well, no, not yet. I haven't left Salem in my whole life. Really? Not even once? No, not even once. Everything I know about Boston I heard from others. I'm sorry for misleading you. I just love hearing about other towns and other countries. Say, Miss Ringmaster, you and your company have performed all over Europe and the colonies, right? What sort of show did you put on in Boston? Did you stop by Jamestown, too? Is it true that New York has stores where you can buy tea and porcelain from the Orient? Oh, I really wish I could see your show, but since I can't, could you at least tell me about the different countries you've been to? Would that be all right, Senpai? Really? That's wonderful. Thank you, Miss Ringmaster. That's great. I love hearing about foreign countries, too. Yeah, MASH just casually dropping the American Revolution information. Uncle Carter's very responsible and quiet and strict. Everyone in the village is very pious, but I think they are also very stubborn, and they don't like to admit when they've made a mistake. But when Uncle starts talking to them in his calm voice, they always seem to accept what he says. I see. So the other villages really don't trust him, do they? Yes, they do. He teaches at Harvard Divinity School in Boston, after all. He studies the Orient there. I don't really know quite what he researches. But he always has fascinating things to share about foreign countries. He's told me some really unusual stories about faraway lands, like the Qing dynasty, I think, and the Mughal Empire, and a place called Zipang. They're all so fascinating. I see. It sounds like your uncle is where your love of foreign countries came from, then. I guess he must be. Well, I do love hearing stories like that, but yeah, I think there's two going theories. Either that she probably died, either that she died young, lived out the rest of her life in relative anonymity, and some people say that she went to like a different town, right, and started a new life. I think are the three theories about it. Well, I do love hearing stories like that, but my very favorite thing is when I tell them to my friends and let my imagination run wild. I especially enjoy telling them to Lavinia. She's always so interested to hear them. Lavinia? Is that a friend of yours? Yes, she's the same age as me, so she was also born in the year of the comet. She's the best. I always love talking with her. None of the other girls have much interest in foreign countries, so they only ever ask boring questions. But Lavinia loves to read, so she knows all sorts of things. Sometimes, I even think she knows more than Uncle. Sometimes we even come here to watch the sea together. But yes, this time you saw right through me, Miss Ringmaster. I must have upset her somehow, because lately she just won't talk to me. I asked her about it, but she kept refusing to answer, so after a while I got upset too. But she's still my best, most cherished friend. Being apart has helped me realize that. I noticed there were a number of friends of yours at the secret gathering last night, though. Does that mean Lavinia wasn't among them? I secretly sent her an invitation, but she never showed up, just like I knew she wouldn't. I wonder, could that be the girl who ran off into the forest? I talked to T.H.E about this, and she gave me some advice. She told me to be honest with myself and think about whether I'd done something to hurt her without knowing or meaning to. She recommended I ask myself 3 questions. So what were they? First, have I pretended to be someone I'm not? Second, have I jumped to any conclusions about her? And third, have I been neglecting to pay attention to tomorrow because I'm still nursing a grudge from yesterday? T.H.E said that. I see. After that, I realized there were a lot of things Lavinia could be angry at me for, and now I don't know what to apologize for first. May I say something? Does Lavinia have white hair and very pale skin? Mash, we just made a deal! I know you weren't there, but we just made a deal not to tell her! Yes, that's right. Have you already met her, Mash? Yes, I actually saw her in the forest last night. I guess I hadn't told you yet. Really? Do you mean it? Then she showed up after all. I'm so glad. I'm just sorry I didn't notice she was there. Now I have something else to apologize to her about. Wow, so you saw her too, Miss Ringmaster? Some people tease her about the way she looks. Some go even further and say she looks downright sickly. But I think she's beautiful. She looks just like a star fairy, don't you think? If you ever make fun of her, I'll never forgive you. Don't worry, neither Senpai nor any of us would ever do that. Hey look, I can see a sailboat on the other side of the pasture. It sounds kind of heated over there. I can hear people shouting angrily. Did a new ship just dock? The sailors can be kind of rough. The wharf is just past this grassland, but... Eek! Senpai, that was a gunshot. It came from the direction of the wharf. I hope it's not a mutiny. It's the Indians. The Indians are attacking. Huh? From the sea? Yes, I believe Robin and Neja did. Oh dear. Abby, are you alright? Let's get you back to the village before... Abby? Outside. Can't go outside. Outside Salem. Nothing but pain and suffering. Everyone who comes from outside is... That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Who do you think you are pointing your blade at me? You ain't leaving here alive now until you get down on the floor and beg for mercy. A blade, preposterous, third-rate seaman. The true blade of my fire-tipped spear is red-hot flame. Your flimsy arms, will they continue to blunder? The next strike will be no mere scratch. The hell? This wench is off her rocker, and where the hell did she get that thing from anyway? That was amazing. Did you just deflect our shots? Was that magic? Are you acrobats or something? Not acrobat. I am martial artist. Yeah. Sorry about this, gents. Would you mind putting away those scary-looking muskets and knives now? We were just trying to relax before our big show. I hope you can understand. Oi, you're the ones who started it. And I absolutely understand you're upset, but can we just keep it cool since this is a tavern and all? What's the big idea, Neja? What are you trying to pull here? You would. Have me remain silent, in the face of such shame. What's going on here? Indeed, affirmative, of course. Now is the time, let's slip the dogs of war. Ringmaster, glad to see someone else with their head on straight here. Go on, talk some sense into this idiot. These seamen, the root of evil, therefore I shall cut them down where they stand. Oh yeah? You're still on about that, wench? If you're trying to draw in customers, you're doing a terrible job. And what are you supposed to be anyway? Another Oriental or something? That's right, I'm talking to you. So you're their ringmaster, eh? What kind of company are you running, letting your freaks run wild like this? This come from the man wearing ripped-up shirt sleeves. Please listen, master. To begin, once we entered this tavern, Matcha there sat at gambling table, began drinking. Hey now. Whatever became of the mission? He lost at dice, more and more, even demanded I bet, our travel expenses. Whoa, keep that to yourself. Nothing better to do, so I followed his example, joined him, gambling table. Had no idea what I was doing. Beer was so bad, it was undrinkable. Then, at my lowest moment, third-rate seaman gestured towards me, called me a prostitute, and began touching me near my waist. That I did not mind. He did treat me to some milk. Next, he made me sit on his lap, told me to pour him another glass. That's sort of frivolity. I also do not mind. T.H.E. I do not mind. However, this seaman remained in high spirits, yet as he kept drinking, burst into tears. He began to complain. How sad my body is. Can you believe? This body, given to me by T.H.E himself. How dare this man appraise this body as sad? How dare he? Okay, T.H.E, go off. That's about when I couldn't take it anymore and tried to go smooth things over. According to that sailor, T.H.E's so light that he figured she wasn't eating well enough. And that got him thinking about the kid he left behind in his own country. Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with that? So why the hell did this wench of yours go and pull a weapon on me? Don't worry about it too much, young ringmaster. This guy's just a big old lecher. He was just trying to get your wench to feel sorry for him so he could take her to bed. He does it all the time. Good lord. Good lord! Sure ain't much fun to be had in a Puritan port town like this and all. Y'all need Jesus. Yeah, neither we sailors nor ye performers belong here, so we might as well get along. I gotta make a decision here. Robin was out of line in the first place for drinking and gambling. But, like, the problem developed because of what T.H.E did. But, like, also... Oh, man. Okay. I don't know. That feels weird. Oh, yeah? And you'll be buying us all a drink. Well, ain't that thoughtful of you, Ringmaster. You might be young, but you got a good head on your shoulders. I did nothing wrong. Don't worry about it. Master's just putting on an act herself. At least, I think she is. She'll throw all of their tea into the ocean. Cut that out. It's still a century too early for that. Jesus Christ. What's going on? What was all that commotion about? I rushed here as fast as I could, but all I see now is people drinking happily. Come on, what happened here anyway? Sorry, Mash, you missed all the fun. I see. I suppose I understand. I'm just glad matters were resolved before they got out of hand. Performers, eh? If the storm out in the bay keeps us stuck here, maybe we'll go see your show for ourselves. A storm? Has there been a stretch of poor weather out in the bay? Is that why you're all hanging out in this tavern? Yeah, that too. You got it, Specs. Gotta say, though, I'm surprised you even thought to come perform here in Salem at all. What sort of show you'll be putting on? Oh, well, we were thinking of... Hold it, all of you. I want to hear what you have to say, too. They say you're going around telling everyone you're traveling performers. But I don't buy it. Oh. Ringmaster, that guy's been sitting in the corner for a while now. He's one of the villagers, not a sailor. I run a general store here in Salem. I've been to Boston a number of times, but I've never seen any entertainers like you before. I know there's a lot of strange folk in the theater, but no one would ever come to Salem looking to get rich. Unless you're secretly up to some dirty, shameful business like that sailor said. For that matter, you're awfully young to be a troupe leader. How many shows have you performed anyway? This will be our first. What was that? Whoa, it's not what it sounds like. She means this will be our first time performing with our current members, naturally. I mean, Ringmaster, please let me handle this. I have some notes from Chaldea for situations just like this. Sir, I can see you care deeply about this town, and I understand your concerns. But I assure you that despite our appearances, we at the Psyche Company are good, God-fearing people. We may not be Puritans or Quakers, but we always perform with gratitude for all of God's blessings. We pray every day, and as long as there's a church nearby, we make it a point to attend Mass as well. On our way here, we heard about a village in New England that no other performers will go near. A village where good people live pious lives. A place like that truly lives up to its name, the city upon a hill. As fellow Christians, we hope to learn from the people of Salem's example, and if we can bring them some joy in return through the only trade we know, we could ask for nothing more. The city upon a hill, huh? I can see that you mean well. And given what happened in that little tussle earlier, I can also see that you want to blend into our town without causing trouble. Even if you are a bit on the unusual side. That said, I don't want you leading us into temptation. People say that we Puritans hate plays, novels, and dancing, but that's giving us too much credit. It's not wrong, but it's not quite right either. We do our best to minimize those distractions in our lives precisely because we are drawn to them. Every child knows that plays are fun and exciting. And this tavern certainly sees its share of people coming in looking to relax and enjoy themselves. The people of this village purposely go around turning blind eyes to each other's failings as long as they only involve a glass of hard cider. We are all of us frail vessels, and so we do not invite further temptation into our lives. That is my concern about your troop. Hard cider is pretty great stuff. I understand that as performers, we may not be welcome. But does that mean we're not allowed to be here at all? That is not my decision to make. But if you're willing to demonstrate what sort of play you mean to put on, that might go a long way towards changing the people of Salem's minds. If you insist on performing, I'd be willing to speak to the Reverend and other respected villagers on your behalf. Why not try putting on a small show just for them and getting approval from the village that way? I see. Senpai, I think this could be a good opportunity. If you refuse to do so and mean to ply your trade without regard to the villagers' sense of piety, then I would prefer that you leave. The barkeep tells me you're guests of Professor Carter. All the more so in that case. If you don't want to be hauled out before the judge, you should go somewhere that's more welcoming to outsiders, like Rhode Island or Pennsylvania. This is Massachusetts. Ours may be a small village, but the eyes of God and his justice are upon us all. I don't want to see anyone hanged here. Hanged? That was a stretch. About 4 years ago, I think, I saw a criminal hanged in Boston's town square. There was talk of witches and foul play. Perhaps you heard about it yourselves. Oh, witches, you say. Now that's something we'd like to hear all about. Finally, something relevant to the mission. If I may, Senpai, I think we should do as this man suggests. It's a good opportunity and would make our investigation considerably easier. I can see you have concern. Jesus fucking Christ. I believe there was a play in the book Anderson gave us that should be perfect. If it's all right with you, Senpai, shall we go with that one? Oh boy, what did she pick? Understood. Then I'll speak to this man and request his assistance. Now, we should head back to our room and get ready to perform. Oh, and if you're wondering about Abby, I escorted her back to the town center. She was a little shaken up by the gunshots, but she regained her composure soon enough. At least, I think she did. Okay. Oh. Oh, man, these are heavy nodes. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm not going to make it through 3 more days. How many sections are in Salem? Man. I know I'm still in section 1. I don't know who's gonna be put on trial for being a witch first. Yeah. I like chat talk. To be fair, my streams for this month for FGO, I was planning to run them a little bit longer than usual anyways. Because I figured these streams are more fun when I get to talk to you guys in chat and still read the stuff. I think I'm probably about done for today, just because I can kind of feel my voice going, and I know I have D&D to run later. But, like, for example, next week I don't have D&D in the afternoon, because it's only every other week. So I'm probably going to run next Tuesday's stream also quite long. So, like, longer than I did today, for sure. Maybe not 6 hours long, but yeah. I think my plan is to try to run longer streams to kind of get through Salem this month as a goal. Because I want to be done by the end of the month. And then I can move on to the Christmas event, which will be timed to Christmas. Oh, but yeah. I am very much looking forward, though, to listening to those Cthulhu songs, or Yogg-Sothoth songs and such, in the chat. Maybe I'll send back, if there's anything I listen to that's different from what's in the playlist and the videos already sent, I'll send it back as an exchange. I don't know if there will be anything unique. Who knows? So far, I'm enjoying Salem a lot. I thought I would enjoy Salem. I really did. So I've gone into it with a very positive attitude. Because like I like all the servants that are here, and I just think I'm really gonna enjoy like a Lovecraft meets witch trials sort of thing. So I'm very excited to continue. I'm just not gonna be finishing that today. I wanna stop talking for a little bit, make some lunch, and get ready for D&D later. I might run a weekend stream sometime this month, doing free quests. I'll let you know now that I'll probably pop up with like at least 1 or 2 extra streams this month running like free quests and stuff just to get them out of the way. Because I want to try to build up enough courts that I can pull a few times on the Winter Banner. And I think going through the free quests that I have left and like should get me like another like 30 or 40 courts, since I haven't really been keeping up with them super well. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah, that's right. Knick-Knack's taking the week off streaming this week. He's got, it's something we do outside of our normal lives, so it takes up a lot of extra time. I am still waiting on paperwork to process for jobs, so I actually have a fair bit of time this week. I'm not going to be free tomorrow, but there's a chance that I stream Thursday or Friday. I don't know yet, so that's why it's not down in the schedule, but there's a chance. We do have end of season stream Saturday, which I believe is starting at 2 p.m. going till about 6, maybe a little longer. Just depends on how long we get to talk in. But yeah, end of season, which will mean that we're starting season 7 the Tuesday after with our first review, which will be super fun. And we should have, well, not this week obviously, but next week we'll have another Reacts coming out as normal. Oh yeah, tea time tomorrow. I forgot. We have a tea time chat tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Completely forgot about that. Yeah. I'm excited. We haven't done a tea time chat in a while. And it's finally tea time weather, to be honest. It hasn't been tea time weather in a while. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. PST. And I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. That's going to be very interesting. I think Knick-Knack's still got some stuff that he's trying from one of his recent trips, maybe. I might crack into a different tea that I picked up in Istanbul. Because I got like this health and wellness tea there, from one of the spice shops that looks really interesting. I'm just going to need to like crush up some of the bits inside of it because they're really large. So I'm probably going to try that tea. What do you mean react to an old event, Dakota Doyle? Because I mean, technically, Christmas is coming up, so I'll be doing that, and that was technically an event as well as a story chapter, I'm assuming. Like, Seraph was technically an event, but then a story chapter. Like, so what do you mean by reacting to an old event? But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll be doing Lilum Harlot at some point. Not sure when yet, but we will be doing Lilum Harlot. Actually, really quickly, let me... I don't think I have anything... I don't think I have any mats left for the month, but really quickly, let's see if I can put anything into... Do I have anything? Nope, I don't have anything. Okay. I'm so close! Not quite, but I'm so close. Oh, okay. Yeah. For events, I think I'm perfectly willing to like watch like an event, like somebody else go through an event on like YouTube or something, or like read it in off time. It probably wouldn't be a stream, and it probably wouldn't be like a react per se. They'd probably come out as off the shelves when we have time. I don't mind doing that. I also don't mind playing events on stream so long as I have time. I'm sure, because I know that there's a Lotto event coming up. Is it this month or is it in December? I know that there's a Lotto event coming up, and I know that I'll be playing the Lotto just to benefit from it, you know? So there's a chance you'll catch me actually streaming the Lotto. Maybe, you know, if I was planning on doing like free quests, I might also be doing the Lotto just to kind of maximize what I can get out of it. Yeah, transcripts too. So I can, you know, I can read the transcripts of old events and stuff like that. And then, you know, we can film videos on them. I don't mind doing that at all. Yeah. Yeah, so I can't do the story, but I think I can do like the Lotto stuff, right? I just can't do the story. Or maybe I can't do it. I'd like to do it. Okay, yeah, I want to play the Lotto for the farming, at least. Just because I've hit the point where I need mats, you know? Like, I need statues, and I need gems, and I need mats, just in general. So, that's fine by me. Yeah, I think it's, I don't think I have any skills I was currently leveling on anyone. Because I kind of was trying to catch up with Blazes of Wisdom, but I've actually gotten a decent amount of good servants recently, so I actually haven't had a lot of ability to kind of level and max them, per se. I did run into the issue with Domon, where I think I was just out of something specific. Because I was trying to level him up, and then I couldn't. Like his skills. Oh. Yeah, Matt's hell. Oh, there's a Gudu event coming up. I mean, depending on what I can get out of the event, I might participate in it. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. That's just going to depend on my amount of free time. You know? But yeah, I think with that being said, I'm going to get going. I'm going to make myself lunch. I'm going to chill. And I hope you guys all have a good day. And then hopefully I'll see some of you guys tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. And hopefully I'll see a bunch of you on Saturday at 2 p.m. PST. See you later, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's a lot of fun, especially with these chapters that are fun to read.